I have it converted as a movie already.
Okay, you may need to do that then.
So this is just a, it's just a runtime video one time, so it won't loop, but they'll live.
At least if they get at least a one-time run.
Yeah. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to try to look at volumes down. Ed, work with me here. Volumes all the way
I'm gonna
down.
grab a seat before we
Yeah, yeah.
lose it.
I was able to put the virus stick in. It worked. It's on the machine. Devin, just so you know as well, in case more people didn't know, this is our video to click. It's on this podium already. So whoever we get, Tom Cruise gets here, and just click and run that. They said they would see it in the back. And there's no way to projecting up, but hopefully there's a lower screen. So it's loaded on the machine. And it's the specific one.
This one. Yeah, I didn't even see the pack.
You look beautiful, Chris. This is good stuff. This is really good. March 10, 2026, City Council meeting come to order. Lord's Prayer. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city.
We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Scott.
Here.
Counsel Chow.
Here.
Counsel Descoteaux.
Here.
Mayor Gitschia.
Here.
Counsel Duran.
Here.
Counsel Liang.
Here.
Counsel McDonough.
Here.
Counsel Mercier.
Here.
Counsel Noon.
Here.
Counsel Robinson.
Here.
Counsel Rourke.
Here.
11 present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any moment of silences? Seeing none, we'll move on to Mayor's business. 2.1, communication, remote Zoom participation. Motion to accept and place on file by Counsel Rourke, seconded by Counsel Robinson.
Mr. Mayor,
Counsel Mercia.
before we go into the city council motions, could I suspend the rules and bring 6.2 and 6.4 for Maran?
Motion by Counsel Mercia to suspend the rules to bring in 6.2 and 6.4, seconded by Counsel Noon.
Mr. Mayor, while we on the suspension of rule, if we could also take motion response C out of order.
Motion by Counsel Noon to take 6.1C out of order, seconded by Counsel Robinson. Counsel Mercia.
As well, Councilor Newt is saying that A as well. He said C, and I say, as we could put A as well.
A and C while we're under suspension.
Thank you.
Thank you. (6.2) Information report. Information report. Tyler Excellence Award. Councilor Mercia. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and through you to the council. Councilors, thank you very much for bringing this out of order. I first and foremost want to say thank you and congratulations to our MIS department. Mr. Fernandez is here tonight. But briefly, over the past 4 years, what we've been striving to do is to increase additional transparency of what's been happening. I know that there are a number of councilors that have been pushing for things like 311, which is one of our major accomplishments over the past, I'm going to say 2 years maybe, Mr. Fernandez. And that really positive change is how our business is getting done throughout the city of Lowell. What it's also going to bring forward on is what we're looking to do probably mid-April, and I think there's something this evening, we're going to be talking about this a little bit later, about how all of the motions that are brought forth before the council, how they're answered, when they're answered, and in what manner and when that happens. So we're pretty excited about that. We also have the enterprise asset management. Some of you will know this a little bit as the workflow system that we're currently using at School Dude. You've heard that terminology before. But this really is powering our whole 311 system, which is from Tyler, and it really is no small effort made by our MIS led by Mr. Fernandez. So I just want to publicly say thank you very much to Mr. Fernandez, and I'm sure if there's any questions that anybody has about this, he'd be glad to answer them. But this is a real kudos, an opportunity, and once again, trying to bring a lot more transparency, striving to make sure that everybody knows where we are and what is happening. There's more to come with the Tyler suite of products that we have. Pretty excited about this. So just want to say thank you very much for the council. And once again, as I look around here, there's been many councilors who have been pushing for this over the years. We're here. We're getting here. And I think that the excitement that you're going to see in the future, or the actual changes that are going to be up online, are going to be very impressive. So thank you again all.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to say congratulations to MIS. I've been one of the people that initially started pushing, I believe under the last administration, for the 311. It took us a while to stand it up, and I'm glad, we had to exercise patience, although it was aggravating at times, but it's well worth it. One of the things that stands out to me about this Tyler Award, I'd like to congratulate again, The civic interaction and public trust category specifically recognizes organizations that have designed a better civic experience with government through technology solutions that foster trust and simplify interactions with enhanced engagement with residents and the business community. And above and beyond making it easy for a way for our residents to communicate any problems they see, I'm glad to see that we provided the administration the tools for back of the house to see and monitor real-time responses and all the data that helps to kind of improve on other areas we need to. So congratulations again to the team for this award, and I'm glad to see that this 311 is helping propel us into the new century. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to say this last, but since it's brought up, I'm also a recipient and I use a lot of 311 system. And I was going to say congratulations and thank you. I was surfing the internet this week, and I saw something different. The city of Lowell no longer about bridges, not about buildings, and I see a lot of people, cultural activities, and things like that happening on the website, and I thank you, and it's all about the people and the community, so I really love what I saw on the internet, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Yang. Motion to accept and place on file, Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor Noon. 6.4, communications. City manager requests permission for one out-of-state travel for MIS. Motion to adopt by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor Noon. Roll call.
Counselor Scott.
Yes.
Counselor Chow.
Yes.
Counselor Descoteaux.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counselor Duran.
Yes.
Counselor Liang.
Yes.
Counselor McDonough.
Yes.
Counselor Mercier.
Yes.
Counselor Noon. Yes. Counselor Robinson.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. 6.1, motion response. 6.1A, motion response, Hometown Hero Banner Program. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I made this motion back in January, and I thank the city manager and Director Lamarche for bringing this report today. This program has been a success since its inception, having honored 58 veterans and first responders. I don't know if Director Lamarche is here. Oh, there you are. Thank you for being here, Director. I just have a few comments and questions. Again, thank you for being here. This is very, very timely, where the ceremony will be hosted in May. The program, it was started back in May 2022 with former councilor Ratayam. And since then, we had, like I said, we had 58 submissions and honorees. Do you anticipate hitting the 18 banners cap this year?
At the moment, we have 12 submissions, and there were a few phone calls, people stating that they would be bringing some more in. It's open for another, the deadline will be Friday the 16th.
Okay.
So we'll probably have some stragglers before I actually get to order them. So we're doing pretty well. Right now, there's 12.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw that deadline is next week, I was concerned about that. I was wondering, would it be possible? How would it affect your ordering of the banner? Could we extend it for like one more week? And if you could do that, if you could comment also on what is the outreach has been like to other commissions, to Gold Star families, to
the outreach
program like?
we've had it in the newspaper 3 separate times. I believe the city put it on. I think the case office put it on their pages, their social media, and it's also on the city website. I do believe we could go in one more week. I wouldn't go much more than that. It depends. Like in the past, we've only had an issue once where the picture was not correct. We had to have it remade, so this just leaves us enough time to repair or to fix anything that the pictures aren't right, or there's a spelling issue, or so about a month they recommend, at least a month.
Okay, so that would be your call. If you think it's okay to extend one more week,
I think so.
Please say so I could have maybe all of us could do something social media to push for more banners and things like that. And also just, I know the cost is $100 for a sponsor. For families that might have issues with that amount, are there grants or any subsidies that you could have the families with that $100? Some kind of waiver, or is that $100?
I think that would be on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Counselor, if there's any family that's having an issue with that, please contact our office. We'll make sure we take care of it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much. It's great report, very, very timely, and I don't know if anything else you want to add to explain the program.
I brought a sample for anybody that hasn't seen them yet.
Okay.
The banners are double-sided. They are 30 inches by 60 inches. They're placed just before Memorial Day, and then we will swap them out just before Memorial Day. We have, with your permission, when we, May 22nd, I believe it, May 19th, we reserved some time in the mayor's reception room to invite the new group of families to come. They'll be the first ones to be able to take a look at the banners. And in the past, the council has recognized them just before the meeting. It's right now it's scheduled for 5:30 on May 19th in the mayor's reception room.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamache. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Lamache, if you don't mind, could you just please let the viewers at home know who should they contact if they're interested in this program, since we're running out of the deadline time?
Sure. You can contact my office, my email, elamarche@lowellma.gov, or you can call my office directly at 978-674-1595.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lamache. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Chow. 6.1 motion response is C. Motion response, Coburn Hall. Councilor Descoteaux.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I could have the OPM to the lectern, please.
Kevin, if you can just state your name and address just for the record.
Kevin Kane, Skanska USA Building, Narragansett, Rhode Island.
Councilor Descoteaux.
It's been 6 weeks since I asked for an update, which I was supposed to get back in a week, so I will ask you a few questions here. FBRA has conducted repeated site visits throughout January and February to assess beam conditions, identify necessary repairs, and prepare corrective direction. Has this corrective direction began?
Yes.
Okay. How far are we into that process?
The process, the field bulletin, which is one of the other items, has been issued with the information of what needs to be performed for the remediation of the existing structure.
Okay, I guess the $64,000 question is, what is this council looking at for possibly increase in this building?
Increased cost?
Cost.
We're putting the numbers together. I will say that with the reviews that were done by the structural engineer, there was a lot less work that's required to be done from the 1990 renovation work that was not performed. So there was findings that there was less work to be done on the remediation. And now that we have the information, last week the field bulletin was issued with the structural engineer's details of what needs to be done, and now we're working on pricing. And that we're working on that now. Suffolk is working with structural contractors to update and get some costs associated with what it's going to take to get it done.
Do you have a ballpark time frame on when this will be completed? When the cost analysis will be completed?
I would say we need a few weeks.
A few weeks?
A few weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Descoteaux. Councilor Noon.
Yeah, so follow up with Councilor Descoteaux. You said that the report from the structural engineer regarding costs, you will have that in a few weeks?
The report from the structural engineer identifies the work that needs to be done.
Okay. Okay. So the work need to be done, come back in about a couple of weeks?
A few weeks.
Okay, can you report back to the council?
I will report back to the council.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager, did you hear that? They want to report back from the council? Yes. April, does that sound good? Councilor Noon, April? Okay, thank you. Councilor Chow?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, we're concerned both about cost, but also the structural integrity, as the previous councilor spoke of. When I hear about the discrepancies between the 1990s drawings and a lot of the beams and the steel have been just discovered recently, could you comment on like how many have been flagged, and are there more floors that to be discovered that's still in the works? I'm concerned, when I hear about the structural integrities just being met, and then we have like a rising, increasing student population in the high school. I think every families, or when you hear stories out there that floors could collapse or worse, buildings could collapse and so forth. I know you're smiling and shaking your head, but these are real concerns that like real people, individuals, and families have, because we don't have the expertise and so forth. But we do need that type of reassurance, right? Because this project started a long time ago with literally hundreds of millions of dollars in, but this type of discovery, new discovery, is happening so recently when it should have been done way before. So how many more of these steel beams or pillars or whatever that need to be discovered? Do you think to be more? What's your take on it?
The Coburn Hall has been exposed for the structural review by the engineer. And the engineer for this project is designing and engineering what needs to be done to meet the load requirements for the school. So the engineer is looking at what is there and what needs to be done to meet the loads of the school. That's what they're assigned to do, hired to do.
I can understand that. I understand the language of the engineer and so forth, and I appreciate you being up here. Like I said, just, this is one of the many small things, and you add up aggregately, it's a big issue for all of us, right? For the school, for the families, for the students, for the city leaders to take with so many small problems and adding up, and and talk about this discrepancy. I'm a little concerned about it, but I do thank you for being here.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Duran. We'll go back to the regular portion of the meeting at this time. 3, City Clerk. 3.1, minutes of Municipal Facilities Subcommittee joint with School Facilities Subcommittee, February 25th. City Council regular meeting, March 3rd, for acceptance. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Liang, seconded by Councilor Duran. It's not 7 o'clock yet, so we'll skip forward. We'll get into the City Council motions. 5.1, Councilor Liang, request the city manager have the appropriate department provide safety and feasibility assessments of the four-way stop sign at Bowers and Fletcher Streets, seconded by Councilor Noon. Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion came about, I think I talked to Mr. Manager a while back and to see if there's a way to do that. Basically asking the drivers to at least do a 3-second stop or something like that, because residents are concerned people are doing a rolling stop, and we don't want to have any more accidents happening. And so normally when I put a motion, I have some sort of idea. I drive to work also in Medford, and if there's a way to have a stop sign that have a blinking solar on it, I don't know. It's something, but the idea is to basically maybe put an ease to the residents to have their concern settled.
Thank you, Councilor Yang. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I can only say that I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the blinking four-way stops at West 6th and Bunker Hill. maybe that's something that we look at to duplicate. But I've got nothing but positive feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.2, Councilor Liang. Request the city manager have the appropriate department conduct an audit assessment of Cross Street and provide short and long-range solutions, especially in the areas of Fletcher Street towards School Street. Seconded by Councilor Duran. Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the same, but I just want another look maybe at Cross Street. Since I've been living there, I haven't seen any kind of fixings on that street, so I just want to see. The road is pretty bad, and maybe a department to take a look to see what is the short-term remedies. It's not a pothole, but it's sort of like a sinking sort of road, and yeah. So just to see if there's any short-term fix or what would be the long-term remedies to help with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Yang. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.3, Councilor Descoteaux. Request city manager schedule an information meeting with the traffic engineering office and the residents of Campbell Drive regarding the proposed sidewalk project. Seconded by Councilor Rourke. Councilor Descoteaux.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Mr. City Manager, thank you very much for getting this off the ground. This is a big thing for the safety of the children at both the Daly and the Bailey School, so this is welcome news. And I believe the engineers have finished everything that they needed to, so I thought this would be a good time to get with the Campbell Drive residents from the Daly School to the Bailey. I'm not sure if we needed the rest of them, but I know we're hopefully planning for the following year to get the rest of that road done, and hopefully that's something that we can be on the wish list. But if we get something maybe next 2 or 3 weeks at preferably the Bailey School, and do it a Thursday around 6 o'clock or something.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Council is the first 3 motions, even into the 4th motion. We'll get into the engineer's office as well. But the traffic engineer, we had spoken last week about this, and we were talking about coming back to yourself and Councilor, Mayor Getchia, to discuss something about happening in the neighborhood, something similar that we ran previously. Might that work at the Bailey?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll have Ms. Altman reach out to both you folks and find out if we can do it at the Bailey again with the next couple 2 or 3 weeks. As the council knows, this is something that is going to go into the Chelmsford Street redevelopment that we also need to fund. So the funding mechanism is going to come through that. So we can bring everyone together on that, and then the next couple 2 or 3 weeks. Make it happen.
Appreciate the effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Descoteaux. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.4, Councilor Descoteaux request the city manager have the traffic engineer reevaluate the synchronization of the light cycle at Westford and Stedman Streets. Seconded by Councilor Noon. Councilor Descoteaux.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm still getting calls, City Manager. In fact, I went there today around 4:30, and the traffic on Stedman was closer to Chelmsford than it was to Lowell. So we do have an issue over there. I'm not sure what Ms. Altman can do and out of her tricks there, but it's still an issue. Thank you very much.
Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councilor Descoteaux, for putting that motion. And I'm not quite sure how this could be related, connect to that traffic light, Mr. Manager, along that Westford Road that go to Drum Hill. There are several apartment complexes that they would have to exit their complex into Westford Street, and I saw a few social media posting. It's like they're saying it's like, playing like a Russian roulette when they come out, because it's heavy traffic, sometimes fast traffic. It's hard for those residents to get into the main traffic. It's a very similar situation to the apartment complex on the, I believe, the Pawtucket Boulevard. I forgot the name of those Camelot Court, correct? But on that route, you can only make like a right turn, so it's easier to deal with a right turn. But the apartments on Westford, when they come out, sometimes that they make left turn or right turn, and with heavy traffic on both sides, it's real difficult to enter the traffic. And you talk about literally hundreds of families actually in those apartment complexes. So there's a lot of vehicles that need to get into the traffic. So I'm not quite sure what can be done along the same line of engineering for the traffic light. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Councilor Rook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any way you can go right on red at that light when you come off of Stedman? Because it's, as Councilor Descoteaux said, it's brutal over there. It's been worse since the lights have been put in, if you ask, just my opinion. But if you can go right on red there, I think that would alleviate a lot of the pressure.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councils, we will try to figure this out. This is something that obviously we looked at trying to solve another problem, but obviously this other problem has creeped up. So we'll find out with right turns coming out of some of those areas as well as the right on red. I don't think there's a large pedestrian, because usually that one, coming in from Bridge Street, Councilor Robinson knows this, and in the morning, that fouls things up a lot, because when the kids are going back and forth to school, they actually hit the light. So that's a good thing. But I don't sense that that's a heavy pedestrian trafficked area. So unless there's something I'm not seeing, Councilor.
Councilor Rook. Councilor Rook, you all set? Thank you, Councilor Rook. Councilor Descoteaux.
Councilor Rourke brings up a good point. I wish we could there, but it's been narrowed down to one lane, and you can't, in the back, before there were lights, people were just side to side taking the right, but now you just don't have that opportunity to do that, and I think that's where the backup is happening, most likely. Maybe you can indulge.
Wasn't there an issue with land taking on the corner, and we couldn't take the land to make that second lane? If my mind jogs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but okay, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.5, Councilor McDonough. Request the city manager have the appropriate department work with the Council on Aging, the Health Aging and Acting Group, and other interested parties to explore the feasibility of designating one or more happy-to-chat benches in the community. Seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion comes out of a whole series of emails and conversations, and occasionally getting a little lost and delaying me about a week in getting this motion in, and me personally trying to wrap my brain around what it is this group is looking for. But I think it's a very good idea. And this group of seniors and others with the Council on Aging have been working pretty diligently towards this idea. And they have some questions about the feasibility of implementing this, how they would be able to do this given the historic district and uniformity of the benches. I'm happy to pass along the contact information for the Dr. Andy from UML has been a real point person on this. I'm happy to pass that contact along. I think they've already been talking to Steve, but through you to the manager.
Manager Golan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the council. Councilor, yes, we've done this at the Moody School over off of Rogers Street for the school kids, so it's something we can absolutely do. If you could forward us a contact, we will talk to Mr. Stoll from the Historic Society to find out how, or the Historic Commission, find out how we can do this in and around the downtown. So easy enough. If you could give ACM a shout out all that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. Seeing it's 7 o'clock, we'll go to the general public hearings. 4.1 Ordinance. Amend zoning. Data Center Moratorium. Give second reading. An ordinance amending the Code of City of Lowell, Massachusetts with respect to Chapter 290, therefore entitled Zoning, by adding and amending various sections. Is there any will to bring up 6.3 at the same time? Council Scott.
I was just going to ask you to take the planning board recommendation at the same time.
Motion to take 6.3 up at the same time by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Rourke. 6.3, Communications. Planning Board recommendation regarding creating a moratorium on the development of data centers within the city. We're going to open the hearing up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? In favor? Please state your name and address for the record, please. And if you can sign the sheet that's up there, please.
This one here. So my name is Jake Forts, and I'm at 36 Iowa Street.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. So basically, tonight I'm here to talk to you guys. There's enough of the people on the council who know who I am. For those that don't, I have existed on this project since Markley has come to Lowell for 10 years, actually now 11. I have been looking for transparency and accountability when it comes to this project. When they came to Lowell originally, back in 2015, the entire community was misled about the intentions of what this data center was doing. I have proof of that because the city manager at the time knowingly said, in exchange between their council at the time to now, that they were going to include a street sale that is now known as their private way. That was only one of the things that wasn't known. The more people talk about this data center that exists now, the more we find out that people knew back then, when they came, that they planned on extending their footprint beyond what exists now. They also had to have known what they were going to need for their facility, but yet none of those things appeared in the original plans. Instead, things kept on changing. There was no transparency from City Hall, just, oh, in 2018, sorry, they just appeared there, the 4 engines that I've been fighting since 2016 when they first appeared. However, documentation also shows that the city of Lowell knew that those 4 engines were going to be changed and did not do a major site plan modification. That was back in 2016. The proof is there. There has been no transparency with this project whatsoever. How much HVAC would be installed at the site and how much of that constant hum we would hear. How much water would be needed for this facility and whether or not 2 water tanks would suddenly pop up in somebody else's backyard, seemingly overnight, and construction would begin before planning board approval. There's an ongoing pattern of lack of transparency from City Hall. But the thing that you need to make clear is that every time I come to the meetings, you're heard, but then afterwards, seemingly meetings happen where you go to the planning board and they postpone it. They hear your concerns, they're very concerned about what you're talking about, and then from there, it ends up turning out to be that they meet with Vice President of Markley, who does a private walkthrough with them, and from there, then all of a sudden the planning board changes and rubber stamps everything that they want without a consideration for the neighbors, without actually doing any research on the harm of what they're approving. The last time the planning board voted for this particular data center, they admitted they had no expertise on what they were voting on, and yet they still allowed it anyway. That's a very bad look for the city. So the transparency narrative, though, is not unique to Lowell. This is happening nationwide where data centers are popping up in residential neighborhoods, but there's always a constant theme. It's always low to middle income
Jake,
folks.
We got a 3-minute time limit, so
yes, who can't defend themselves and only find out after the fact. So what I'm looking for from you guys tonight is accountability and transparency in going forward. So please do a community benefits agreement where the community is actually sitting at the table, not just the city and not just the company. Everybody needs to have this because the Sacred Heart neighborhood is under siege. Just look at the property developments recently.
Thank you.
The expansion is coming. Thank you so much, guys.
Just a reminder to all the speakers, we have 3 minutes. Mary, if you can state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Mary Wamboi. I live at 668 Princeton Boulevard, apartment 4 in Lowell, Massachusetts. I am here to support the data center moratorium. And even before I say that, I'd like to make a note that there's usually a process like the one we had recently where we went to the planning board. It's very interesting that those who oppose this moratorium did not show up. And what it tells me is that they are not really Lowell residents, because if they live in Lowell, they would have been there. They would be there at every stage of the process. Now to my comments. Data centers arrived in Lowell in 2015, and after a decade, we can evaluate their local impact. The city provided $77 million of a tax break to support this industry, one of the largest tax incentives in the history of Lowell. After all that, the documented local return is 30 jobs. Okay, 10 years, 30 jobs. 30 jobs is not a return on a $77 million public investment. It reflects the reality that data centers are among the lowest job-producing uses of land. That's a fact. At the same time, we have a huge deficit in our public school building, which I think was part of this conversation, Coburn Hall. And so we were looking at a $40 million deficit and a 1.6% tax increase on residents like me and you. But 30 jobs, $77 million for a company that's polluting here in Lowell. Well, some are saying that if we have a moratorium, it's going to push development elsewhere. A moratorium is not a ban, it's responsible planning. It gives the city time to evaluate infrastructure impacts, land use trade-offs, and long-term economic value. The pause is also an act of restorative justice in municipal decision-making. The responsible step for the city to do right now is to pause, acknowledge the imbalance, and repair it before moving forward. No one is saying shut down Markley. We are just asking the city to be responsible. It's also important to note that the planning board recommended exploring a community benefit agreement. It should. You know, if you were always taking poison and then you realized it's poison, will you still continue taking it just because you started taking it 10 years ago? We need to think and do what's responsible. We all want economic development for Lowell, but it should not come at the expense of the entire city. So I urge the council to support the moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Just again, if you can just write your name down on the sheet and state your name and address.
Thank you very much. I'll write it first. My name is Elijah Russell. I live at 61 East Meadow Lane, apartment 8. I think this is a really good idea for the city. When it comes to the executive branch and the administration, they put an executive order making it so no states can have any legislation regarding data centers. I think this is a really good idea to let the city really understand what's going on. When it has to do with the neighborhoods, with the grid, people are subsidizing the increase of energy use, and Markley is using our grid, so it is making taxpayers and people who live in the property having to subsidize their energy use. I would also say about them buying property up, just the fact that China was not allowed to have high-end NVIDIA chips, so they are much more efficient when it comes to their LLM models, and expansion of a data center could lead to having to downsize once the technology gets better, and we've already destroyed and built up the land. So I think this is a really good idea for the city to have a real inclusive part of the Markley group. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I would also say that Block Square, it's a publicly traded company, and they laid off 40% of their workforce and got a stock rise because of the fact of AI use. So we are going to see massive job loss because of these technologies. And so we really need to think about what that future looks like because it's already in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? In favor?
Hi, my name is Alex Lange, and I own 50 Robinson Street and also 21 Robinson Street. I'm in favor of the moratorium. So my speech is named Moratorium and Solar, the Canary Warning. Good evening, council members. My name is Alex Lange. Like I said before, I am here tonight to issue a warning for every homeowner in the city. I have solar panels on my roof for 6 years. For 6 years, my winter electricity was $40. My whole bill was $40. This month was $177. I am the canary in the coal mine. If a solar protected home can see a 300 price jump in a single month, every family in Lowell is in danger. The evidence, the wires, black leaves. I have one here. That's my black leaves. All the trees around my house are dead with this black stain on it. That's the evidence. I have also the bill, and I'm happy to show it to anybody here. Only 1 month, 177. The evidence, you can see it right here. So last month I see utility crews were out in the street and stringing new heavy-duty wires on my street. Specifically those for the data center, they were going all that to the data center. For 6 years, our neighborhood grid was enough. Now I am being billed $177 a month. For what? The wires are destroying my neighborhood peace, definitely. But look at my trees, my river, all the leaves. They're sick, are stained with this horrible black here. I'm gonna leave this as a proof. I complained that they were dying, but nobody actually showed up there. This is in the industrial zone, I know, from diesel fumes and cooling towers. If the trees on my street are being choked by this fallout, what is happening to the lungs of our children? The health and the state context is the canary is gasping for air. This is us, Lowell. In 2025, Lowell Health Department data always lists respiratory disease as the top priority for our city. We cannot ignore that adding 27 diesel generators to a residential area is a direct threat. The state has already seen warning signs. On February 26, the Massachusetts State House passed a bill, H5151, to protect ratepayers like me. Our state representatives are fighting to make this corporation pay for the fair share. Lowell needs to match that bravery tonight.
Sir, we got to wrap it up. You're at the 3 minutes, sir, so you got to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's my final. I did in the past 6 years, I invested in solar. I did what I could. So I just hoping that our representative, all of you, do something about it, because this is the safety of our children and our lungs. They don't pay taxes, so they may extend the taxes. So I hope that you have this in consideration. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Was there a sign-in sheet? Oh, that's okay.
Oops. Sorry, too many papers.
Don't worry, that's not the first time that happened.
All right. Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Coles, and I'm at 7 Bourne Street in Lowell.
I left my paper at home, so I have to read from my phone. Good evening, Mayor and members of the Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to respectfully support the adoption of a temporary one-year moratorium on permits and construction for the Markley Data Center so that the city can evaluate the potential impacts of this facility. Particularly, they are located within close proximity to my home, which is in a residential neighborhood. We know that a moratorium is not a ban. It is a well-established planning tool used for municipalities to pause development while zoning regulations, infrastructure capacity, community, and environmental impacts are carefully reviewed. It allows the city and community to ensure that emerging forms of development are addressed appropriately within planning regulatory frameworks. Data centers are fundamentally different from traditional commercial buildings. They function as large-scale industrial infrastructure, operating continuously and requiring substantial electrical capacity, large cooling systems, and extensive backup power systems. In many cases, these facilities install numerous industrial diesel generators to maintain operations during outages. These generators must be tested regularly and may operate simultaneously during emergencies. When facilities such as Markley are located near residential neighborhoods that raise important questions about noise levels, air quality, and overall neighborhood compatibility. When a data center is located within a quarter mile of homes, the city and neighborhood that are affected should have the opportunity to carefully consider whether zoning regulations adequately address issues such as appropriate setbacks and buffer zones between data centers and residential neighborhood homes, noise standards for generator testing and emergency operation, potential air quality impacts from diesel generator emissions, lighting, truck traffic, and mechanical equipment noise, and whether the scale and intensity of these facilities are compatible with surrounding land uses and community compromise or coordination. In addition to the neighborhood impacts, data centers can place extraordinary demands on local infrastructure. Many require very large electrical loads and significant cooling systems, which may affect energy capacity, water usage, and utility infrastructure. Those in my neighborhood know that additional electric support has been added to support the data center, and some of my colleagues have already spoken about this. A temporary moratorium would allow the city to conduct the appropriate studies and planning review, including energy infrastructure, environmental and air quality, noise and mechanical, etc. Communities across the country have experienced rapid data center development, have taken similar steps to pause approvals while updating their zoning and regulatory frameworks, as well as creating community agreements, which one of my colleagues spoke about as well. Taking time now allows the city to establish clear standards, predictable rules, and appropriate protections before decisions are made that could shape land use patterns for decades. A temporary moratorium protects residents, provides transparency, and ensures that any future developments occurs in a way that is compatible with surrounding neighborhoods and consistent with responsible long-term planning. Therefore, I'm asking the council to vote yes on the moratorium. In addition, I do have a foster child who I'm seeking guardianship with that has asthma, and I am concerned about the health effects at the address in which we do reside. In addition to what my colleagues said before, I thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
You must have rehearsed that speech. It was right on 3 minutes. Nice job. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? In favor?
Hi. My name is Nancy Forts. I live at 36 Iowa Street, and I'm speaking in favor of the moratorium on data centers. We need guidelines established for these centers that are being located in residential neighborhoods because of air quality, the consumption of electricity involved. They are too close to houses in the area, especially with diesel generators that spew fumes and smoke into the air. They can say they are meeting DEP guidelines, but I don't think the DEP would live that close to generators. Some of these generators are located 100 feet or less from homes in the neighborhood. There is cleaner options than diesel that pollute. There also needs to be teeth in this moratorium in order to enforce regulations and standards, because big companies have a way of ignoring suggestions, i.e. fines and such like. With recent purchases in the Sacred Heart neighborhood, there needs to be a pause for the city and its residents so we can chart the best path forward. I live in this city, I pay taxes in this city, I vote in this city, and I'm asking you to pass this moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Good evening. My name is Eileen Castle, and I live at 64 Otis Street. I directly abut Markley's property, but I am here today to talk to you about how this any data centers would affect our lives, because I experienced it in the past. I've been there at least 75 years. So cooling towers have health risks, noise. If they're properly maintained, I understand that they might not be so terrible, but we don't know that they're maintained because we have no accountability. And we need some accountability for things like that. So I'm looking to see if Lowell is willing to stop things and say, we need to pay attention to what is going on to our residents. What's happening? Generators, the fuel, fires, fumes, all these things come to play in my yard. Next to me, I come out in the morning sometimes and there's mist on my car. So I think that if you want to look, if you want it in your backyard, you can buy my house. My value is going down. Will never get what I should get for my house because I can't look out my window without seeing two big water coolers, two big water tanks. So I think this is something that the city needs to do. I think someone needs, and we have a playground and a school. Do you want to send your kids to school down there? I don't know anybody that wants to. I don't think the playground is a mess. I went by it today. It is disgusting. I wouldn't send my kids, who I've lived and brought up, there to play at all. So I think the city needs to look at the past and make sure that this does not happen again to any of the residents that you have been voted into office for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Please just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Mireille Bajani. I am speaking on behalf of the work that I'm doing with residents in the Sacred Heart neighborhood. Good evening, city councilors and mayor. Thank you for the opportunity to share some comments.
We need to state our address.
I live in Northampton. I live on 423 Florence Road in Florence, Massachusetts. I'm the co-executive director.
We have to be a Lowell resident or somebody.
I'm actively working with residents here in the community.
Mr. Mayor, I motion to suspend the rules to allow.
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules by Councilor McDonough, seconded by
Thank you.
Councilor Mercia. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? You may speak.
I'm the co-executive director of Slingshot, which is a regional environmental justice organization, and I'm working with residents here in Lowell in the Sacred Heart neighborhood around the issue of data centers. I'm here tonight in support of the proposed one-year moratorium on data center construction or expansion. Through my work, I organize with communities across Massachusetts and across New England who are directly impacted by polluting companies, pipelines, power plants, incinerators, data centers, you name it. In my years of doing this work, I've seen the same patterns happen time and again. Companies act in their self-interest, maximizing their own profit, and residents are left dealing with the consequences. That ranges from costly cleanup of toxic substances to higher cancer rates to tax bases shrinking while pollution continues. I don't particularly blame companies for this. They're built to focus just on money. But it's an important thing to note because it means that communities are responsible for their own self-interest, their health, their economic future, and their environment. Nobody else is going to protect those interests for them. That's where this moratorium comes in. It's an important opportunity for you all as leaders of Lowell to look out for the city's self-interest, to create the time and space to ensure that future data center development truly serves Lowell. Any company that comes to town is going to seek the best deal they can get, minimum costs and maximum profit. This moratorium is a tool for you all to set the terms of the deal that favor Lowell so that you don't miss out on potential benefits and you don't get stuck with unanticipated costs. This is a tool to be proactive instead of reactive, to leverage expertise and resources to chart the best path forward. The whole data center boom has been accelerating rapidly across the country, mostly doing first and thinking later. That's the kind of approach that leaves communities reeling in the aftermath. Lowell can't afford thinking later. Thinking later means adverse health impacts for residents. Thinking later means missed job opportunities. Thinking later means a bad deal for Lowell. Let's slow things down and give the city a chance to think now and do later. You can be in the driver's seat to get the best deal for Lowell. I hope you'll take that chance by voting yes on this moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Grossman. I live at 83 Varnum Avenue in Lowell. I'm a member of 350 Massive Greater Lowell Climate Justice Group, and we support this ordinance for the reasons that everybody has already stated. I would add that one of the other harmful impacts of storing and using large amounts of diesel fuel, whether at the Markley Center or an expanded Markley Center or new data centers, is that it adds to greenhouse gas emissions, which increases the speed of climate change, which has extremely negative impacts both here and around the world. I also want to say something to my fellow unionists in the IBEW and any other unions there may be at Markley. I myself am a longtime union activist and supporter. We do need more good jobs. There's no doubt about that. But jobs can be good in two ways. They can be good for the workers who do them, and the IBEW and many other unions do a great job of making sure that's true, and that's essential. But they also can be good for the workers who live in the community that's impacted by the work that's done. Those residents of that neighborhood and the extent of the impact of Markley or any future data center are workers also. And that's where the problem is right now. Based on what we've observed with Markley, we have no reason to think that without regulation, expansion of Markley and more and new jobs there will meet that second criteria and in fact be good for the workers in the impacted communities. Nobody I know who supports the moratorium wants to close Markley or cut any jobs that exist now. But we have the chance with this moratorium to examine our zoning and other regulations before there's any expansion. And we need to do that first to make sure that if and when more jobs are created, they will be both good for those working them and also for those living in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition? Please state your name and address for the record and write it on the paper, please.
Andrew Wiesek, 118 Smith Street. I'm one of the maintenance supervisors for the Markley Group, And I'd just like to touch on a couple issues that I hear come up again and again. We do a lot for the community, both inside the fence line and out. We're constantly cleaning up trash on Bourne Street. We have people climbing into Hales Brook in waders to clean motorcycles and truck tires and you name it out of there. We do care about the community, and this company means a lot to me. I'd like to, make this slightly personal, but, before I worked for the Markley Group, I'm just a maintenance guy, and I never thought I would, have the ability to have a home or have a family. Year after working there, I moved to Lowell. My wife and I bought property here. We pay Lowell taxes. We vote in Lowell. And it's my hope that you vote this down and more people can walk the same path that I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Come on up. Come on up.
All right. My name is Brian Ainsworth. I live on 128 Foster Street. I'm against this ordinance. It's a bad idea and it doesn't make sense. It's a bad idea because it sends a bad message. It's a message to businesses and residents saying that rather than building one of the most technologically advanced facilities in the country, we'd rather have an old, abandoned factory rotting into the ground. Rather than having a site cleaned and hundreds of trees planted, we'd rather have abandoned trash and vehicles sitting in River Meadow Brook. Rather than innovation and business and hundreds of clients that visit Lowell, we'd rather have stagnation. The ordinance calls out seeking recommendations from professionals and experts regarding impacts to the community. I'm a professional, an expert in data centers, going on 20 years. I mean, by the way, if you know anybody else in Lowell that has about 20 years of experience, let me know. I'm looking for friends in the industry. And I recommend voting against this ordinance. The impact to the community might be pushing out the sponsor to the next kinetic sculpture race. The impact might be all the charitable donations that could have been given to the community. The impact might be the food bank no longer receiving donations it once did when the federal government shuts down low-income programs. It's a bad idea. It also doesn't make sense. The ordinance mentions noise, energy, and environmental concerns, among other things. Like for noise, the existing data center not only meets noise levels set by Lowell, but a vast amount of money was given and spent reducing the sound even more. If sound is still a concern after exceeding the requirements, then noise criteria should be evaluated for every business in Lowell. It's unjust to single out one business to be devastatingly more restricted. What businesses are next? What about a small automotive shop that gets targeted and now required to spend millions of dollars on a sound wall because neighbors living next door to an industrial site complain? It's not fair. For energy, why should we waste time and money spent looking at utility impacts? There's an existing agency that does this, the DPU, and they specifically are designed to look out for consumers and utility rates. We should be lobbying them, not killing a business. Same thing for the environment. There are regulations for environmental protection from both federal and state governments, the EPA and the DEP. If we have a problem with regulations, we should be lobbying them, not wasting time here. And again, the impacts need to be thought out for every home and business in Lowell, not unjustly singling out one type of business. It calls for a timeline to be established for recommendations, but there's no plan for where the recommendations are coming from. Where are these experts going to come from and who's going to pay for it? Most of the information I hear about data centers is from flawed opinions from the internet. I know this. And despite the differences of opinions in this room, I know one thing we all share. Every one of us shares a reliance on data centers. Data centers for our banking, commerce, medical records, government, internet, cell phones, almost everything in our daily lives. We shouldn't be killing what we rely on. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
John Mello, 93 Ursula. I lived around this neighborhood my whole life. I live in Ursula now. I lived Griffin, South Whipple, Agawam. I'm almost 40. I've used Markley's property to cut through, go to places, all that, whatnot. So I know what the transitions it's gone through and all that. So to say this is the properties, I know what it was before. It was a dump. It was a straight up dump. Now, Keep hearing people say they want transparency and all that. Sir, we're building $1 billion modern marvel over here. Plans will change, but they will be accordingly. They will be in the law. They will be the best safety they have. We have the best, all of that. They will be to you guys. So I'm kind of speaking more to the neighbors because that's what I am more. You know what I mean? And to the dude worried about the rivers and the streams and his leafs. Sir, we cleaned those rivers. We did. Markley did. And we do all the time. We shovel the streets, like my supervisor just said. We do all that. We bring many businesses to here, there, all that. And, you know, your questions, comments, concerns, they do not fall on deaf ears. It's loud. We put up the best sound barrier money could buy. There's a little wall. We put it down. Oh, sorry, broke it down. Any problems, we're coming with solutions. So to come here, you know, and keep this, and that, at least come with a little consideration that everything you bring up is met and is kind of trying to meet you. We let city council in, we're not locking the doors, putting up barriers. I don't see how anyone could be more transparent. That's all. So bring your questions, comments, and we'll meet you in the middle. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Alex Men of 521 East Merrimack Street. So I was born and raised in Lowell, currently in the Belvedere neighborhood. I'm here to speak tonight against the moratorium. So before I began working for Markley, I had just returned from a combat tour in Afghanistan as an infantryman. I was working odd jobs to make ends meet. In 2015, I was given the opportunity to work for Markley. It was a huge blessing, especially because my fiance had just given birth to our second child. Markley did something for me that no one else had done. They gave me a fighting chance. That chance allowed me as a father to provide for my family and give my kids the kind of stability I never had growing up. Because of that job, I was able to buy my first home with a backyard where my kids are currently getting ready for the upcoming baseball season. All of my children attend school here in Lowell and are high honor students. Without the financial stability my job provides, I honestly don't know if the circumstances would be the same today. This moratorium can bring an uncertainty to many others, including myself. Since I started in 2015, I've also seen how much Markley has helped clean up the neighborhood. The crime and drug activity in the area has also gone down significantly. I've also seen them provide opportunities to many other local residents like myself. Markley has done something very special. They did more than just give back to the community. Markley's given us hope and a future that we all look forward to. One day I hope to show my kids how far Markley has come and have them be proud that their dad was part of a great organization. I'm speaking tonight not just as an employee, but as a son of Lowell, as someone who grew up here and cares deeply about the community. I'm grateful for the opportunities that Markley has provided for me, my family, and many others here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
Mayor, City Councilors, my name is G. Edward Brown. It's my understanding that the residency has been waived. I live at 52 Allen Street in Drake, Massachusetts. I'm not here to speak on behalf, but we do have a video, and I'm going to play this video, and it should come up on your screens. Just told it would. Oh, that one. You told me right up right-hand corner.
In public hearings, we don't allow videos. We don't have a means to it.
We've seen, the reason
Mr.
why we did this,
Councilor
Mayor, not to
McDonough?
argue, is we've actually seen
Councilor McDonough?
presentation at other.
The suspension of the rules is for all speakers. If we do it for one, we're going to do it for all. I just think that's fair. So a motion by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Robinson, to allow all speakers to speak in opposition or in favor of. So you certainly can speak, but I don't know that there's an avenue for you to type in to play something, that's all.
We were hoping that that was going to happen because in years past, we've actually seen like PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah, there's set up presentations for information, so we got to contact LTC for that prior to, if that makes any sense.
It does. Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I will certainly ask in the backfire when he's speaking. I'll go back and see it, if LTC has a means for you to do that. Register if you want to speak in opposition.
Yep. I oppose. My name is Tommy Cruz. I live at 287 Pleasant Street. I am a lifelong Lowell resident. I was born right up the street in the Julian Steel Projects. I currently live right behind Markley Street, Markley on Pleasant Street. And I just want to say, you know, I agree with a lot of the neighbors and what they're saying, but also Markley has brought a lot of good to Lowell. They've hired at least a third of their employees are from Lowell, and they're currently looking to hire more people. If this moratorium goes through, it's bad for all the employees. Since I've been working in Markley, I've been able to put my daughter in private school to afford it. I couldn't do that before. And I just hope everybody here hears all my co-workers' arguments and votes in favor of the Markley Group. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Denny. I'm a Lowell resident, residing at 70 Bradstreet Ave. I've been working in this building for 2 years. I've been working as a local electrician for about 10. If this job gets shut down, it will significantly impact each and every one of us union workers, as well as our growing families we work so hard to support. I strongly ask you that you reconsider this moratorium as preserved for good union jobs, and please look at all the good Markley Group has done and will continue to bring to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition?
Hi, I'm Chinasmi Chun. I've been a long life resident of Lowell, currently residing at 15 Dover Street. About 10 months ago, I spoke here for the diesel permit, and I'm in support of the data center here at Markley. I hope you guys reconsider the moratorium, not only for the sake of us here workers, but for our livelihoods. I mean, I'm supporting a 3-year-old child, and I don't think I can afford to lose out on the opportunities here that Markley has brought here for us. So please, I depend on this job, and I hope you reconsider the moratorium.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? So we just want everyone to understand there will be no sound with this video because it doesn't play sound.
Mayor, we appreciate the accommodations. We thought we were going to be able to do it when we came here. Next time we'll make sure and coordinate it.
Just public hearings are different.
So what we wanted to do was, coming back up, we just wanted to show, if you look at your screens, what Markley used to look like with the trains, the pictures, the waste, material waste that was there, and what it looks like today.
Oh.
You want me to pause it and then start it? Okay. Okay, let me know if you're ready. Okay, I appreciate your help, thank you. Nope. Okay, you want me to just pause it again? Okay, let me just start from the beginning. Okay, here we go, thank you. It's better with sound. We actually had the trains, the sound of the trains as they were going by, so. But this will give you an idea of the trains that used to go by on the property and through the residences. That's not part of the presentation. This is what it used to look like And you can see all the hazardous material, and then you can say, this is what it looks like now or during the development. It's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like now. All the trees and before. That's what it looks like now. This is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. Before and now. Before and now. We're towards the end, Mayor. Before and now. This is what it looks like inside now. And you can see, as it's been mentioned before, the support that we have in the community and all the different areas that Markley contributes to. So I want to thank you, Mayor, and City Councilors, for accommodating us and allowing us to show this. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
My name is Jacqueline Casey. I live at 100 Park Avenue West. And I wanted to speak today as a Lowell resident and an employee of Markley for myself and for my fellow employees. Markley has over 100 employees in Lowell and 100 full-time union workers on site. We understand there's been a lot of confusion about data centers given the national media stories of events happening in other states within the last year. And there's been a lot of misinformation that's being spread and has been presented at these hearings. At last week's planning board meeting, Dan Tenzer mentioned the importance of making sure all voices were heard. As someone who works in the facility, it's important to clear up some of this misinformation. A recent study by VHB, one of the largest environmental firms in the state, showed less than 7 homes in the Sacred Heart neighborhood produce more particle pollution annually than our entire facility. And we just want to state that again, less than 7 homes produce more particle pollution annually than our entire facility. We would be happy to pay for another expert firm to confirm our findings as well. A statement was made at the planning board hearing last week that Markley's generators are killing trees a half-mile away from the property. Markley has planted hundreds of trees on the property that are thriving. How can our trees be thriving if the emissions from our generators are allegedly killing trees a half-mile away? Last year, Markley had an environmental consultant who specializes in identifying health issues at the city council hearing who said that Markley generators don't raise any health concerns. To say that Markley is causing any health concerns is not supported by studies or research. I think it makes sense for the city to have a study done first to confirm those findings before putting in a moratorium that jeopardizes jobs. We've heard a lot of concerns about water use and water quality. Markley designed and built a world-class filtration system to ensure there is no dirty water at the site, and evaporated water coming in from any of the cooling units is completely safe, clean, and harmless. And with the sound attenuation now installed, the cooling units can barely be heard. In regards to complaints about Bourne Street drainage, Markley has worked with the city to find a solution to this problem that goes back more than 50 years, and Markley is committed to doing the same on other issues where we can be of benefit to the city. Markley is not taxing Lowell's water system and is not creating any kind of water shortage. In fact, Markley pays higher rates than residential customers and is only adding substantial money for the city of Lowell. Markley also has been accused of creating constant noise above allowable thresholds. When several city councilors visited the data center and heard the generators, they commented that the birds and lawnmowers were louder than our generators. Markley was accused of having unpermitted infrastructure installed, and this is not accurate. To my understanding, all improvements on the Markley property have been approved by the Lowell Planning Board and, where appropriate, the Lowell Conservation Commission.
We're at the 3-minute mark, so if we can just wrap it up.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say that Markley is a great place to work. It treats its employees very well, and on behalf of our employees and union workers, I'm hopeful that the city and Markley continue working together, and we can see the company continue to grow in Lowell. So please vote no on this moratorium.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Kelsis. My house is 829 Lakeview Ave, Lowell. I'm an electrician, union electrician over at Markley Data Center. I mean, it's one of the best places I've ever worked. I mean, I know you guys don't understand because you're not in this field, but the type of work we're doing, we are building the future. I mean, you might not want to see that, but that is what's happening. This is going around all over the country. This can put Lowell on the map. I understand the residents have a concern. Totally get that, okay? When we did our tour, I mean, Mr. Mayor, before you were mayor, walked with you when you were a council member. You and I had a conversation, and I understand. You're not trying to put anybody to work. I get it. But if this does go through, that's what you're going to do. That is the reality. You're going to put us out of work. We have permits active currently, yes. Once those permits dry up, we have nothing. That's 80-plus families out of work. What are we going to do? So instead of maybe a year, possibly consider cutting it down, we're screwed. So please reconsider.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
Hi, my name is Justin Padilla. I live at 10 Vincent Street in Lowell, Mass. Good evening, members of the council, and thank you for giving me this chance to speak tonight. Not only am I a maintenance technician working at Markley Group here in Lowell, I am a member of this community. I live here with my family just like many others in this room. I care deeply about the future of our city. April 1st will be my 1-year anniversary working here, and I have been blessed with this amazing opportunity. From day one, Markley Group has welcomed myself and my family in with open arms and has become like a second family to me. I wish to continue my career here and grow within the company. I'm here tonight because I'm opposed to the moratorium on data center development and how it could directly impact people like myself, my family, local workers, and their families as well. We depend on these jobs. And all take pride in the work we do each and every day. I have sat in this room several times with my coworkers and listened to all the concerns of the residents, but I've also took part alongside my coworkers to help keep the property clean, maintained, as well as our neighborhood. Data centers may seem scary to some people, but what I see every day is something different. I see electricians, HVAC technicians, mechanics, pipe fitters, plumbers, engineers, security officers, office staff, ops, cleaners, and maintenance workers working hard together to keep our critical infrastructure running. I respectfully ask the council to consider the impact that the moratorium could have on the local jobs, local families, and the future of technology investment in Lowell. Please work with the community and with Markley to create thoughtful regulations, but please do not shut the doors on the industry that provides real opportunities for people like me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition? Opposition?
Hi. Thank you, councilors and mayor. My name's Alan Crawford. I own 9 through 15 Carter Street Ave in Lowell, Mass. It's actually the property where I was born, and my family has lived in for more than 50 years. I've worked in the field of data transport and fiber optic data connectivity for the last 15 years, connecting local, state, federal agencies along with hospitals, universities, and first responders, which utilize critical infrastructure solutions such as E911, which the Markley Group supports. And I tonight I've heard that overlooked quite a bit.
Sir, if you can speak up a little because they can't hear you, if you want them to.
Connecting local, state, and federal agencies along with hospitals, universities, and first responders which utilize critical infrastructure solutions such as E911, which Markley Group supports. When the public is affected by an outage, those supporting this moratorium will be in an outrage because of their inability to utilize the critical services normally in operation. In fact, everyone who may be in opposition could be using cloud-based applications at work potentially, and may even be connecting to the Markley Group currently without even knowing it. This is a state-of-the-art facility wishing to operate in accordance with the law. There's a lot to like about Lowell, and the Markley Group presence just adds one more reason. Regarding the unknown requirements mentioned earlier from 2015 to 2016, I'd love the crystal ball that you own so that I could potentially take advantage of all the technological advancements that you think that they should have been able to foresee as regarding the need for the more compute power to support AI and all these other cloud-based applications. I strongly oppose this. This is not their first facility. Their premier facility in Boston is a hallmark within the industry. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?
Hi, my name is Ryan Hughes. Due to the suspended rules, I am a resident of Drake-it. I live at 144 Trout Brook Road. I am here to argue against the moratorium. Markley, I've been working here for 2 years. It has been one of the greatest opportunities I've had to work not just in my local, but ever since I graduated from Greater Lowell Tech. I may have lived in Drake-it my whole life, but I grew up in Lowell. I went to St. John d'Arc for 10 years. I went to Greater Lowell Tech for 4 years after that. Lowell has provided me with some of the best opportunities of my life, and I continually want to give back. And because of Markley, I've been able to. They've been very understanding and accepting of people who want to help their communities out. Back when we were doing our last push, 2 Decembers ago now, they allowed me to go back and coach the Greater Lowell Tech swim team and give up some of the hours where they wish they had an extra man there pushing, because it gives back to the community. They've allowed me to take time off to help our local chapters at Greater Lowell Tech of Skills USA. They are a company that understands that giving back to the community is very important, and I would like to at least stand as proof that we are here not just as employees of Markley, but as individual people who get the opportunity to give back to those communities. I'd also like to bring out the secondhand kind of income that local businesses have gotten. I know definitely when we were in one of our high swings, the Dunkin' Donuts loved us every single day, twice a day. Well, they probably have never seen more business and never will again, but that was, and then local businesses like George Delicacies, supporting us during lunch breaks. So the money that Markley gives to their workers does end up in the community from not just the people living here, but everyone working in the facilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition?
Mayor, City Council Chambers. I'm David O'Laughlin. I'm a business agent for Local 103. I represent the members of the IBW that work at the Markley Center. And I'm here in opposition of this. Mayor, we spoke. I understand, your concerns about this, but these folks that I represent here, the apprentices that spoke ahead of me, and the journeymen there, these young men and women get education from the IBW for $0. The other members pay for that, for these young men and women to be electricians. Their school is free. It's paid for by the other members. And in a moratorium on this in 360 days, they have customers in the queue. Those folks are going to go somewhere else. And this is going to hurt the members of my local. It's going to hurt the community when these folks, to reiterate what the young man said ahead of me, when people work in Lowell, they're going to spend money in Lowell. And when they push this out of here, they're not going to be spending their money in Lowell. And those folks are going to be traveling to work and have cost themselves more money to go to work. When they don't work in Lowell, we have to find them jobs elsewhere. And those jobs are predominantly in Boston. And these kids are going to spend money on parking, spend money on travel time. And this has affected hurting IBW members and hurting the other locals that are in the Markley Center. And that's what I have to say. I'm opposed to this moratorium. I think 360 days is a very long time for them to. These folks that they have in the queue, they're going to go elsewhere, and we're going to be looking for them to come back here, and they're going to be gone to some other data center, and that's unfortunate. That's what I have. Thank you for your time. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition?
Hello, my name is Joseph Mitchell. I live at 5 Cummings Road in Merrimack, New Hampshire. I'm speaking under the impression that there's suspension on the resident speaking. I have worked for the Markley Group and New England Electric for the past better part of 6 years now. It is hands down the best job I've ever had in my career. I have been a licensed electrician for the better part of 15 years now. And there is simply nothing that this job site has done in my experience that isn't up to code and standards with EPA, safety, or anything. I haven't seen anything in my experience to think otherwise. As far as some of the generators' concerns go, I would rather breathe the exhaust straight out of the generator than I would some areas in the city. There's no better equipment you can buy to scrub the air from the exhaust system these things have. As far as jobs created, there was an effort to hire within the community. There is a strong presence of Lowell citizens that do work within the building and for the Markley Group. And the only thing I can see coming within a 365-day moratorium of permits is lost jobs and unemployment and bad news for families. Myself included, I have 2 young children under the age of 3. I cannot afford to lose this job, and I know several others on the job site that cannot afford to lose this job. This is a very good job that has done nothing but benefit families in the community and local surrounding areas. There's not much else the Markley Group can do to support the employees and the community as far as I can see. So I would just like to say this has been good for everyone that is involved with the project, and there's nothing I can see that would be detrimental to the surrounding area. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? 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 That portion of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the body? Councilor Rook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the presentation I was given earlier, Lowell Junior High Football is one of the organizations that take donations for our free program. I am the secretary on the board of Lowell Junior High Football. In talking to our solicitor, recommendation is that I abstain from the vote. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Chair recognizes Councilor Rook as abstaining from the vote. What's the wish of the body? Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I heard both sides, and I have an opinion of both sides, and I know what the Markley Prince macaroni, and I knew what that looked like before. It was a dump, no doubt about that. And I know that since Markley has taken over the property, it's magnificent, magnificent. I'm not going to deny that. And I know that there's a brook there, and I know that they're going in that brook and they're cleaning it. I know that there's so many good things happening. And I also know neighbors there, and I know of their concerns. So it's like I'm faced with a dilemma, like, which one of my children do I like the best? Do I like the neighbors, or do I like the union? And I can relate to what you're saying as union people. My husband was a union painter in Local 39, which is now probably 35 because it went to Boston. So I know what you're talking about. I know what you're going through. I know what jobs are like in the union. You get a decent pay and you can afford a house, but then when you're laid off, times are tough, because I've experienced it. I went without. You go to unemployment, you collect, and then it's gone, and you still don't have that other job. So I felt it. I know what you're going through. It's a very, very tough, and I think we do have a representative here from Markley. At least I think he is. And I'm thinking about the neighbors and their concerns, and I'm thinking that, and I know that Markley is good to their employees. I've heard it time and time again. But is Markley good to the neighbors? Because I think that they have many, many questions that they want answered, and you just don't discard them. You can't do that. And I know that the vote before us is a delay, and I know what a delay means, but I'm leaning towards the delay, only for the simple reason that I know it's tough for you. I've been there. I've lived it. But I'm for the neighbors. And I hope that the message goes back to Markley to please include your neighbors. A happy neighbor is a good neighbor that is well-informed and feels like they're a part of the community. They've been there long before Markley was there. So please respect the neighbors. So I'm torn. I'm torn because I know what you're saying. My heart is broken, but I don't see a problem whereby we can learn a little bit more and set the record straight to what we as a city are looking for with respect to our neighbors. So I don't know how my colleagues are going to vote. I hope that you don't hold that against me, because I feel the pain that you're going through, but I just had to say that. I just had to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mercia. Councilor Descoteaux.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do we have a representative from Markley here? Just give us your name and your address, sir.
Hi, my name is Devin Cutchins, and my address is 151 Tremont Street in Boston.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchins. I'm just going to read a quick paragraph here. Said moratorium prohibits acceptance by the City of Lowell any new applications and permits for zoning permissions and decisions for the intended purpose of the development operation of a data center. Further, this moratorium shall apply to any new expansion for the construction and development of existing data centers. However, the term new, as applied to the expansion of existing data centers, shall not apply retroactively, apart from any specific exception as prescribed in the governing statute, MGL 48. My question, and a couple of speakers that spoke, so I just want to make sure I'm for clarification. We're not saying, some of them are saying that if we didn't do this, that you would basically shut down and you'd lose 80 jobs. Please tell me that's not the case.
I think that the point is that if the moratorium goes into place, then we lose the ability to keep growing.
To keep growing. But the employees that you have that are working right now would not be affected, correct?
Well, it's hard to, a lot of our employees, their jobs are to help the business grow.
Understand. Well said. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't at a point here where you're going to say, if this didn't go through, you're laying off 80 people. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's a case that anything new would have to take a moratorium. So I want to make sure my colleagues understand that as well, is that we don't have 80 people losing their jobs, is basically what it, so we're standing status quo, I guess, at this point, until we get further information. But I appreciate you coming up here, Mr. Hutchins. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Descoteaux. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody that spoke tonight. I mean, we can look at this a couple different ways. Data centers are a new thing for the most part. They've been around for a little bit, but not necessarily in densely populated neighborhoods. At the time of the inception of this, I don't think these conversations were had. No one really knew what to expect. I think we're seeing some of the unintended consequences on the neighborhoods. I think some of the key words that came out tonight, responsible. I heard it from both sides. I heard those for the moratorium say being responsible, it's a duty of the council to protect their concerns. I've also heard employees' testimony for Markley that have demonstrated how responsible they have been to that parcel of land, to the neighborhood. I think they have some excellent, phenomenal, actually, employees over there. This moratorium, though, is basically a temporary pause. And that temporary pause, freeze in expansion, allows both parties to come to the table and carve out an agreement. And it's maxed at a year. I personally, if I'm in charge of the Markley Group, you have the key handed to you. You've heard this. That key is a CBA, a community benefits agreement, where you can get to the table with the neighborhood and find this sweet spot compromise so you can continue to move further and the neighbors' concerns are addressed. I think this didn't go the way, because initially I've had people reach out requesting, what can we do to be better neighbors? Meet with the neighborhood, figure out what that compromise is, address the concerns the neighbors have. And instead of doing so, it seems like we got a full-on assault from political who's trying to lobby us into submission. That's not going to fly. At the end of the day, our loyalties lie with the neighborhood. And I'm pretty sure any of the phenomenal employees that spoke tonight, if they lived behind this and had to deal with it and they weren't employed by the company, they'd be expecting us, again, to be responsible and protect their concerns. I think this provides the opportunity not just to the city and our residents, but also to the Markley Group to come up with a working model that demonstrates a collaborative approach that can be emulated elsewhere. You have a data center in a densely populated neighborhood. I mean, I don't think Markley is necessarily a bad neighbor in the sense of the investment and the pictures we've seen. They've greatly improved that property, tremendously improved it. And from what we're hearing, they have a real appetite to continue doing so. We had a gentleman that spoke against the moratorium that got up there and said they're willing to listen to the concerns of the neighbors. And it shouldn't take a situation like a moratorium for us to start hearing that. I think there's been plenty of time to work with the neighborhood way before this moratorium ever came up. So, I mean, unfortunately, I am going to support this moratorium, and I really do hope that that community benefits agreement is reached, and I try to get to the table with the neighborhood and the people involved that are impacted tomorrow and begin these discussions so we don't have to sit there for 360 days with a moratorium in place. The sooner we can come up with this compromise, I think the better off everyone involved is going to be. And so, I mean, I think that's the golden key, and the neighborhood has laid it out to you. Let's work on a CBA between two parties and come back and revisit this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to start by thanking Councilor Descoteaux for a phenomenal question that you stole from me, and Councilor Robinson also for saying that question that I didn't raise my hand fast enough for. I think it's one thing that almost everybody in the room has agreed on tonight, and that's that this whole plan is contingent. Everybody in the room, meaning the neighbors who spoke against, the neighbors who spoke in favor of this moratorium, and the majority of the speakers from Markley opposing the moratorium, they all seem to agree that this whole business plan is contingent on expansion. That this is not a question of continuing operation as normal. This is not a question even necessarily of arriving at the plan that was laid out a decade ago. It's continued growth, and it's continued growth at the expense of all of them, right? All of the people that came to speak tonight in favor of the moratorium. I would also like to point out that there's been a lot of talk tonight about Markley. If there's a moratorium, we're going to pack up and leave the city. And I would really like to point out that's leaving 9 years of pretty hefty TIF on the table that applies not just to Markley and the physical property, but also their personal property and also the personal property of all of their clients, which they use to advertise the site. And when I say hefty TIF, I mean it's 2026. Looking back 10 years in agendas, so it should be at about 75% exemption through 2030, and then a 70% from 2031 until 2035. So I think the economic incentive for them to stay in the city is still pretty strong. I would also, last point, and sorry for jumping, but we heard a lot from Local 103 tonight, and I think they're an important union. They're a strong union. There's a lot of construction going on at Markley. There's a lot of day-to-day operation at Markley. I've reached out to several other unions, both building trades and wider, and I'm not hearing a lot of other good-paying union jobs on this site. Not the security guards or custodians or like laborers in general. I know there was an issue with the carpenters union over the summer. And so I would just ask my colleagues to consider that the labor issue here is, I think, more complicated than maybe we were led to believe tonight. So I'll obviously be supporting the moratorium.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I would just like to start off by saying that for me, this isn't just about Markley. I know Markley's been the focus tonight, but Markley certainly has helped highlight the flaws in the process that we've been following through the years. Data centers are not defined in our zoning in any way. I think that's something that needs to change, and that's why I asked for the moratorium. I'll point to neighbors that have been here through the years, planning meetings, neighborhood meetings with many, many complaints about this project. You're pointing to how clean the project is. They would prefer it how it used to be. That kind of tells you something about what's been going on there, right? The neighbors, Eileen Castle, I'm going to say your name, you are up here speaking. The massive water tank right behind our house that spits down on it, way too close to our house. The buffers should have been there to keep that equipment away from her property. Landscaping, beautiful landscaping inside the property. There's like no tree line on Bourne Street. There used to be a tree line on Bourne Street. They're all gone now. So there's a lot of things that need to be looked at. I'm very cognizant and I'm thankful for the unions for being here. I think it's very important. I think we should try to do this work as quickly as possible so that we don't stop growth, because I am not anti-growth. But I would ask my colleagues to support this. The neighbors have been through too much, and it's time for us to take a stand. There were about 50 residents from home that had emailed everybody as well with their concerns. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scott. Councilor Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Lowell has embraced new technology throughout its entire 200-year history. In fact, it was built on it. And the mill girls weren't afraid of new technology. They used it to build a city that was a model to the world. And they used their time to continuously learn and enhance their understanding of the world. But when changes in that industry impacted their lives, they spoke up for themselves. In their case, going on strike against the industry, not singling out any particular company. They did so not to try to tear down the industry or any company, because they recognized its value to their economic futures and to that of the city. But they did so to try to change things so that the industry and Lowell residents, which they were by then, could live in better harmony. AI and data centers are the new technology now. Lowell is not afraid of these technologies either. In fact, as a UNESCO designated learning city, Lowellians today, like the mill girls then, can and should use our free time to continuously learn and enhance our understanding of the world, including learning about these technologies. In fact, Governor Healy has recently announced a partnership with Google for free online AI training for Massachusetts residents, which I'm planning to take. Today, when an industry impacts the lives of Lowell residents, we must speak up for ourselves, just like the mill girls did. We must try to address concerns with the industry, not singling out any particular company. Lowell is not trying to tear down the AI and data center industry or any company. We recognize its value to our residents' economic futures and to that of Lowell and to that of the entire country that is competing in a global marketplace. Oh.
Somebody doesn't agree with that.
I guess not.
Councilor Duran, he likes the environment too.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, poor thing.
Mayor, would you like one of the Markley?
I think it's a bet.
Mr. Mayor, you want to take a 5-minute recess to clear that?
Motion by Councilor Robinson to take a 5-minute recess, seconded by Councilor Mercy. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered.
Poor thing.
A lot to like about one.
Is it still where to go?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you guys?
The bat is now the new city councilor.
Apparently.
Guess there's no vote.
guy. He's probably scared. Oh my God, Rita.
Just sit down. He will sit down. Yeah.
I know. Oh, I was gonna smack him with the fucking. What's the?
No. Don't shut it down.
This is the funniest thing I've seen in my 2 years. Oh my God, so close to getting out.
This is not a vampire. Oh.
Okay, so we're going to do
Yeah, well, I think you see a lot.
Someone's got to tape this. This is too good.
He has rights too. Leave him alone. It's okay. Yeah, just leave me alone. It's okay. We don't want to. You got
Oh yeah. I'm always surprised I haven't had one in my house yet. Well, this is a trip. I have some. Yeah, I have some. But I'm waiting to get done. Oh, the environmental. It's on the agenda.
Okay, can we start working now? This isn't working. We went voting.
I bet you they're still free. Sing a lullaby.
Yeah, you can't sleep with us.
Dark. He's hunting the bats.
I'm glad I stayed too.
patriot. See, he's a patriot. He's right there and the flag. Right there. It's straight out of a vampire movie. So you're bad. You guys are bad like always. You remember back in the summer? Bad sign. Bad. Okay, let's do this. Let's find a way.
Thing is, the bathroom, you gotta go get a rabies shot. And it ain't fun. Oh, I know, but if he bites, you don't want to get a rabies shot. I think it's a square needle. No, that's a bad. No, that's a bad. No.
Let it be. Maybe. Oh, Francis. Good. Good. See that? Yeah. Okay, you guys. Go and get it. Watch out, watch out!
You guys do it right. I'm coming to more.
There you go.
Come on down. The weather's nice down here.
Do I get a city pension credit if I catch it in the city?
Thanks, Quincy.
You want got any rocks? You want got a small rock? See, this is why you gotta have a guy from New Hampshire. You need a fucking rock. Echo. That's how you catch him. This is what shuts down the city meeting. I live in New Hampshire. This is.
Mr. Clerk, roll call. Never make it at the sewer plant.
Counselor Scott.
Here.
Counselor Chow.
Here.
Counselor Descoteaux.
Here.
Mayor Getchia.
Here.
Counselor Duran.
Here.
Council Liang.
Here.
Council McDonough.
Here.
Council Noon. Council Mercy, excuse me.
Here.
Council Noon.
Here.
Council Robinson. Council Rourke.
Here.
I'm present.
Council Duran, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. And for folks who might not have understood what was going on, there was a bat circling the room, because I'm not sure you could tell if, if you were on TV or just watching on TV. So thank you. I'll just, so Lowell is not trying to tear down the AI and data center industries or any company. We recognize their value to the residents' economic futures and to that of Lowell and to that of the entire country that is competing in a global marketplace. But like the Mill Girls, we must try to change its impact so that the industry and Lowell residents can live in better harmony. That's what the moratorium is trying to achieve. It's a pause to allow problem solving. The moratorium will be successful if it brings together not just city departments, but also a representative set of stakeholders who recognize that the issue is complex and not black and white, including residents, excuse me, businesses, UMass Lowell, the Lowell Plan, and others, as well as subject matter experts, to have the tough and necessary public-private conversations that can produce practical solutions, including enforcement provisions. And it would also be helpful, I think, if we as a council can get quarterly input on the, or reports on the status. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Duran. Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been researching this since the last time I looked at the Marley Group, but since this moratorium is going to look into the effects of what has happened for, I guess, since the past 10 years or so, we'll leave it to the professional to do that. And I'd like to also echo Councilor McDonough about thanking Councilor Descoteaux about that question. That's very important, that we're not shutting the door, we're not closing Markley. And also, I'm proud to hear that Markley is taking good care of the employees, and especially the 30% or so of the Lowell resident employee. I also listened to the residents that's been here. I've been visiting the neighborhoods, Otis Street, Bourne, Prince Andrew, Iowa, and especially Olivia Park. You know, when the employees go home, you get to be with your family, take them to the park, walk with them. But at the same time, if you are the residents around Otis, Bourne, Princeton, Andrew, and around the park itself, they can't do that. They can't clock out. They can't basically come back in or clock in the next 8 hours or so. Last week on Thursday, I was driving to work as usual on Moore Street. As I turned, I saw 3 little girls playing on top of the snow pile, while the father watching as they waiting for the school bus on Prince Avenue and Moore Avenue. I didn't know that the data center was on the agenda tonight, but my mind was wondering, will they still be living in the neighborhood? Will they be healthy? The father that's watching them, will he be okay? I talked to the neighbors. I read a lot of emails that the residents sent over. I notice and I feel the fear, the worries, and the uncertainties of their life and livelihood. And I'm supporting this moratorium just because we're not prescribing Tylenol to treat diabetes. We're just looking to see what's happening in the neighborhood. How can Markley work together within the neighborhoods? If the Markley is looking to expand, we need to know the effects of the neighbors, because again, They're living there every single day. And I hope that Markley and the resident can work together and come up, with some sort of solution so that it can help with their concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Liang. Councilor Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to also join my colleague in thanking speakers, the residents who spoke in support of this moratorium, and the worker, the unions, electricians, and whatnot that work for Markley. Thank you for coming up to speak. I wasn't here 11 years ago on the council, but 11 years ago when the city offered a 20-year TIF, tax increment finance tax break, basically, to Markley. They do so in a number of, for a number of reasons, a number of factors come into it. To clean up the place needs to be cleaned up, and Markley did that. And to invest in that property, and Markley did that in the million, and now maybe close to billion. And Markley also employ worker. The requirement basically to get TIF is that you give priority to the resident of Lowell when they seek job there. So speaker spoke of hundreds of jobs, either the employee of Markley or the union. We understand that. I and my colleague too recognize that this type of development, the data center that Markley is doing, is good. It's good for the city. They provide job. They help local economy. They are high-tech economy. But at the same time, we have to listen to the concern of residents and to ensure that their concern being addressed. They were there first before Markley. Councilor Liang spoke of that employee go home. The resident is there at all times. They express concern. We are not talking about shutting down Markley. We say, let's pause, put a pause to address those concerns that were raised by the resident. During this pause, an opportunity for the city, Markley, the community, whoever the player, to address those concerns. I don't think that's much to ask. Planning board make recommendation. I like that recommendation to us, for us to consider requiring a community benefit agreement, way to mitigate the impact of public safety and concern, the diesel fuel storage, the environmental impact, and so on. So tonight, I will support this moratorium to allow all players to come and have discussion, address this issue and concern one and for all. Thank you.
Councilor Noon, would you like to make a motion to incorporate the planning board's recommendation into?
I would make a motion that we adopt the planning board recommendation.
And include it into this one tonight.
That's right.
Okay. Motion by Councilor Noon, seconded. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Solicitor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the recommendations from the planning board are they're incorporated into the updated amended version, number 2. So they're already incorporated, but if we wanted to sort of keep the recommendation from the planning board, I mean, we have that, it's on file anyway, but I specifically took those recommendations and put them into the version number 2 that's in front of you.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, procedurally, that's the way we would have to do it, is Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Scott. Roll call on that, please, Mr. Clerk.
Counselor Scott.
Yes.
Here a yes. Yes. Counselor Chow.
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counselor Liang. Counselor Duran.
Yes.
Counselor Liang.
Yes.
Counselor McDonough.
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Noon.
Yes.
Counselor Robinson.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke. Abstain.
He abstained. 10 yeas. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to thank the speak also from both sides who spoke very passionately and very intelligently. From both sides, they add values and a lot of perspectives. I am one of the strongest supporters of economic development on this council. And on tonight's issue specifically, I have supported Markley in the past. I believe businesses are the engine of our local economy, and I want Lowell to be a city where businesses want to come, invest, and grow. But economic development and quality of life are not opposing forces. They have to work together. When a business comes into a neighborhood, it has to be a fit. The noise it generates, the drainage it affects, the way it looks from the street. These things matter to the families who live there. Let me be clear, I am not against data centers. It is one of the fastest growing business sectors in the world, and we don't want to miss the opportunity to capture that innovation here in Lowell. When Markley first came to our city, it was the first frontier in our city, and I was excited about it. Many of our city leaders and stakeholders were too. But with the massive growth and expansion we've seen across the globe, across this country, and right here in our city, we can no longer afford to operate without a framework. Right now, Lowell has no zoning standards for data centers at all. That is not good for residents, and frankly, it is not good for business either. The situation with Markley speaks for itself. Councilor Scott raised compliance concerns 5 years ago, simple as fencing, landscaping, noise, drainage on Bourne Street. We received a letter just yesterday from Markley's acknowledging that the work is still incomplete. If resolving these issues take more than 5 years, then asking for 360 days to get our zoning right is not unreasonable. It is modest. This moratorium, passed by the planning board unanimously, it protects residents. It creates certainty for future businesses, and it gives the city time to do the right thing. One final point, I truly appreciate Councilor Rita Mercier's comment earlier. I feel her pain and the council pain on this very conflicting vote. I had a chance to speak with the union rep earlier. I was once a former member of a union. One of the reasons I support Markley in the past was its strong commitment and support for the union. And I hope that commitment continues. I look forward to supporting Markley in the future after this moratorium and getting all the zoning in place. I will be supporting this moratorium, and I ask my colleagues to do the same. I thank you, everyone who are here in the chamber, to really share your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Motion to accept, motion to adopt the amended, as amended by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counselor Scott.
Yes.
Counselor Chow.
Yes.
Counselor Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counselor Duran.
Yes.
Counselor Liang.
Yes.
Counselor McDonough.
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Noon.
Yes.
Counselor Robinson.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke. Abstain.
6.3, we need a motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Noon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 4.2, vote, authorize city manager to send notice of hearing to 48 Kinsman Street, give second reading. Vote, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to notify the owners of a certain property that a public hearing will be held pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 139. We're going to open the hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the meeting is closed. Anybody wishing to speak in opposition? 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 That portion of the meeting is closed. What's the wish of the body?
Move approval.
Move approval by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor McDonough. A motion by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Roll call, Mr. Clerk. You want to read the motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna read, that's the motion to adopt.
Let me find the motion.
I got it right here.
Motion by Councilor Mercia, motion to declare the property at 48 Kinsman Street, Lowell, Mass. 01852, including all buildings and structures, a dangerous nuisance to the neighborhood and future, and further order the demolition of the same. Seconded by Councilor McDonough. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counselor Scott.
Yes.
Counselor Chow.
Yes.
Counselor Descoteaux.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counselor Giron.
Yes.
Counselor Liang.
Yes.
Counselor McDonough.
Yes.
Counselor Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Nuan.
Yes.
Counselor Robinson.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
11 yeas. Councilor Mercia.
before we get into the next three motions, could I suspend the rules and take 6.1B?
And D. Let's finish up those motion responses. So motion by Councilor Mercia to take 6.1B and D out of order. Seconded by Councilor Noon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 6.1, motion responses. B, motion response, 2025-2026 local elections funding. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking it back last week and having it reviewed, and I believe Mr. Manager has something to add.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, we're just clarifying what you had asked. There were no other expenditures made to other nonprofits at that.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
For either last or this year.
Thank you.
Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Robinson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 6.1D, motion response, TIFs and ties. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the team that prepared this. I think this is very informative. It's exactly what I was looking for. Some of the things mentioned, I'm glad to see we're prioritizing. I do think this is a golden opportunity here. I think there's an opportunity to incorporate a lot of council-led initiatives, such as looking at potential. So when we're offering, especially in the area of, what is it, not the TIF, not the tie, but the IP. So along those lines, I think we do have opportunity to incorporate things like incentivizing businesses to come to offer down payment assistance for employees that are willing to purchase in our city. I think integrated pest management with anticoagulants, a commitment to that is something that I think should apply on all of this. I think companies that are willing to offer or stand by in writing a 25% residency/apprenticeship requirement voluntarily, I think it allows us to build a scale, sliding scale as to what we're offering for these incentives for people interested in coming to our community. And I do realize that it's pointed out that we're actually a lot lower than what some other communities are offering. So, I mean, I would like to refer this to the Economic Development Subcommittee to really put our heads together and try to work on consolidating some of these council-led initiatives and see if we can come back with something that everyone agrees to.
Motion by Councilor Robinson to refer to Economic Development Subcommittee, seconded by Councilor Mercia. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. Councilor Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just had a couple of questions. This was a really helpful report. As Councilor Robinson mentioned, Lowell, on average, gives a lower rate of tax exemption than is the, I guess, standard in Massachusetts. And I was just curious whether that generally helps or hurts our city, either in comparison to, other competitive situations, but obviously it also helps our tax base. So just curious if there are any insights there.
Assistant City Manager by Rose.
Thank you. It depends.
Yeah.
And so I think that we were getting a lot of requests locally, and I will say in the last few years, we've seen a lot of requests from developers that are asking us to provide a schedule that is more aggressive than the standard schedule that we offer. And so essentially what we tell developers is like, we have a standard schedule, and if you accept this, we can like move forward right now. If they want something else, then that requires negotiation, and that requires coming back in front of this council. And we have had several developers that have asked us to negotiate directly and not use the standard schedule. So, and what we have been told is that, because we're not offering a very aggressive schedule, like people are going to ask for that like one-off negotiation more often. And that is what we have been seeing. So I think just given like the cost of construction in general, that like we anticipate that people will continue to do that. It doesn't stop people though. Like we have people that are still interested in coming to Lowell and still coming to do development here. And we try to make sure that we explain to them that anything that deviates from the standard schedule is at the will of this council. And so if you want a sure bet and you want to know exactly how you can move forward, you can use the standard schedule. If you want something more aggressive, that's a business decision for them to make. But they go into that discussion knowing that ultimately you all could, say no, and they could get back to the original schedule that we offered in the first place. So I will say that we have been seeing more requests recently that deviate from the standard.
Thank you. The other question is on the housing program. There was a project highlights sheet. I think it was the last sheet of the presentation. And when were these projects typically sort of put together? I was trying to figure out if they were very recent or older. Some of them I recognize, some less so.
Yeah, I would say we have some as recent. I mean, the Hildreth building is the one that's under construction in downtown right now. So we have some very, very recent projects, and then some of them that are several years in operation. The Edge Merrimack is an example of the building across the street from Lowell High, a building that has been completed and operating for a really long time. So I don't know, I would say maybe the last like 10-ish years this probably captures.
Mm-hmm. So captures everything in that time frame, you think?
Most of them.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilor, if this heads into the subcommittee, we can get those actually dates, start dates and end dates for that time frame. We can reach out to Ms. Brudeau down in the assessor's office. And also, to follow up on the assistant city manager's point, this administration and this council and prior councils, we've also we're not shy about bringing in a financial expert when it comes to building. And I think that our negotiations, when people go off of the standard tie for housing, I think that has helped us as well. We're not shy at all about calling in those folks to make sure that, quite frankly, the numbers match. We did that in prior negotiations that that the previous council did. And then my hope is over the next 4 weeks or so, we'll have other things to go into executive session, have those discussions with other pieces that we're moving forward on. So I think it's so important that when people are coming in and asking us for money, and I have to say, from Assistant City Manager Rose's standpoint, I think that these folks that we've talked to and brought in, I think that we've done a lot for our own folks to figure this out and to figure out what is fair and what is too aggressive. So just wanted to say that. And so if it's okay with the council, when this goes into a subcommittee, we'll have the appropriate dates, the start dates and the end dates for all of these ties and TIFs.
Councilor Marcia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to give a point of information to the viewing public, if there's anybody still out there listening or watching, that we talk about a TIF or a tie, and yet that's probably foreign to people. But a TIF is a tax increment finance and it's an agreement, and it's to a company moving to Lowell, a TIF. But there's a number of factors that are included, so it's not just a given. You got to meet certain criteria. Now, a tie is a tax increment exemption, and it's given to a developer looking to build housing in Lowell. So that's the difference, and I just thought I'd give a point of information in case someone was wondering. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mercia. Councilor Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank Giovanni Roses for the report. It's a very helpful report. I know that cities of Lowell no different than other city and towns when we offer tax incentive program to developers is coming in to Lowell or attract quality development to Lowell. It's a good thing. A while back, I filed motion. I think I'm still waiting for motion response on that at the same time, the city should get something in addition to, helping the developers or, large-scale, people that are coming to build more housings and whatnot. We should get something back. We talk about community benefit agreement. So I asked for that a while back. I want to see if we can look at other city and town that do that and say, in lieu of me giving you a tax break, give me something, give back to the city something in the form of money or mitigate conditions with similar to Markley that we just had. So those are something I'm looking forward to report on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Noon. Councilor Rook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a terrific motion and even better response. I think that this is stuff that we need to get out more. Obviously, potholes and traffic and snow removal is one thing. That's everyday life. But this here is what brings people to the city. This is what brings families to live in Lowell with housing. We saw, and then you saw all the employees, from a business in the city as well. And I counted over 600 full-time permanent employees that live in the city of Lowell because of the negotiations that are done by DPD and a law department. More outstanding work, by a DPD director and a city solicitor to get this to where we are. I know changes have been made in the past 4 years, and actually 5 years now, and it just goes to show, how a gateway city like Lowell, offers the terms to get people to come here. You compare us to other gateway cities, and there's no comparison. You're talking 45% exemptions over 10 years to 14% in Lowell over 7 years. That is just outstanding. And again, what that does is it creates the opportunity for employment. It creates the opportunity to have a home or a condo or whatnot through development. And it's something that I'm glad that this council as a whole unanimously always approves, because you see the results in place after these things are done. And, you can hear about, you're giving money away, yada, yada, yada. 600 jobs probably wouldn't be happening right now in the city of Lowell without these agreements in place. You're talking $151 million in value totally with what we just saw through Edge and Thorndike and Waterhead and the lofts. So it's just something, and $2 million in revenue that comes to the city because of it. So once again, it's just outstanding work by the administration to create the opportunity to come to the city. And not only that, as the manager says all the time, to find a way to get to yes. And we have seen that recently, and just keep up the outstanding work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rook. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd just like to piggyback on my colleague. In this report, and this is available on the city's website, something that really jumped off the page to me was, since adopting this program in 2012, Lowell has benefited from 14 projects receiving over $25 million in state tax credits. Combined, these projects will create over 600 new market rate residential units, resulting in a total of $250 million in private investment and an estimated new tax revenue of approximately $2 million a year. So this council, prior councils, this administration, we've been trying to figure out a way for Lowell to stand up and carve out our own identity. And I think we're looking at one of the key pieces to allow us to do that. And I think that's why it's so important we could really work together. And maybe we look to other options to expand on with DPD per their advice in the subcommittee to see. I mean, we have something that's bringing in the outcomes that we're looking for. How do we refine this and do more? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Rourke. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. We're going to go back to the regular portion of the meeting. 5.6, Councilor McDonough requests the City Council reestablish the unanswered, non-responsive section on the agenda of the regular meeting, seconded by Councilor Duran. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you. I actually want to just, if I could quickly, I tried to change the wording and I was too late on making my edit. I fat-fingered the send on myself. Really all I'm looking for is like an awaiting response section. I was looking through past agendas and trying to find if we had ever called it something, saw that, typed it out, then went looking at other cities, hit send on what I had in, and was like, So I didn't want it. It reads incredibly aggressive, and that's not actually what my intent was. You, Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager, had alluded earlier to something that sounds like it might already be in the works-ish. And so I do wonder if, before looking for a vote and adding pages to an agenda or whatever, if this is something that we might want to refer to a subcommittee for a discussion about maybe what it could look like with,
Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, yes, on all of this. So the unanswered, non-responsive, we are working with 311 system. It's right here. I don't particularly like how it's looking right now. My hope is that by mid to late April, we'll have the first quarter report of what it should look like. And this is really, once again, over the past 4 years, we've talked about 311. Councilor Scott, I think, has been trying to push something similar to this over the years. And what we're trying to do is increase the transparency of where all of the motions are. It's important to know where the motions have been, what has been happening, and what is going on today. So if you could give me until mid-April, show you what I think that we're going to be presenting to the council as to where all of these motions will be, how they're answered. I mean, currently right now, motions that are responded to are in the agenda center. And quite frankly, there is so much on our website that sometimes it's just not that easy. So with a dashboard that we're trying to create, once again, with 311 and the award we just received tonight, I think that hopefully by the end of April, we should be able to get the first quarter to something that of the liking of, hopefully, not just the council, but the people outside that can research this a lot easier. We are trying to get there. So if you could give me, or we could put it in subcommittee, whichever is appropriate. But I think we should have an answer, I'm hoping in the next 4 to 6 weeks with an actual, this is what it is, what do you think?
Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the manager. Thank you. Really, and it's why I wanted to clarify at the beginning of the comment here that I fully acknowledge my wording here wasn't great. I did. But the motion really comes from, I think, exactly the problem that it sounds like you're trying to address. And also from speaking with residents at a number of neighborhood meetings, it's actually kind of phenomenal how many council watchers there are out at home, probably watching the bat. I was looking to see if the bat was still in here, who are kind of keeping their own little like ad hoc motion track. And I think it's something that it sounds like we have the ability to simplify, and I'm glad to hear the administration's working on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.7, Councilor Robinson requests the city manager begin a conversation with the superintendent of schools to look into any space consolidation measures that translate into cost savings for our residents. Seconded by Councilor Rourke. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just think with it's pretty obvious to everybody. Financially, times are getting tough. Just to pay our bills, it's every penny's going to count. Absolutely, there's no more parachute. ARP is gone. We all know this. I think we have some opportunity if we look through maybe our portfolio, if we reach out and communicate with the Lowell Public Schools and see if they have anything in their wheelhouse that they think would kind of work. We hear attendance is down, so maybe that frees up some space. I have a feeling, I believe central office lease space is coming up June-ish this year. So I think it's some opportunities are going to present themselves, and if we could really, even with the Gene Dock property, I think once that comes online, if we can kind of expedite that, that might offer some kind of opportunity as well to Lowell Public Schools to work with us to try to consolidate, and again, with the desired outcome here, cost savings for our residents, as well as, I mean, streamlining a lot of the stuff that's going on. I mean, if we have people spaced out at different locations, does it make more sense for Lowell Public Schools to relocate some of their people to a place that they feel like would be better suited? Do we have space within our portfolio to relocate people that we feel like we'd be better suited and more capable of handling? Thank you.
Golden. Go ahead, Mr. Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, I've been talking with the superintendent about this, and not to get involved in which school and how and what is going to be happening, but this conversation has been going on probably for the better part of a year, considering the fact, like you said, our partnership with the school department on St. Jean d'Arc school over in Pawtuckettville. I think that's going to go well once it gets up and running with the elevator, et cetera. But we've been talking about the shifting demands within the school department and see what the city can actually do to help that happen. So this is I don't want to say it's a preliminary discussion, but it's something that is happening that I would hope that I'd be able to get you some type of response or come back to the council with a thought and idea. I would probably say, I would hope before July 1, before the fiscal year.
And since it's been brought up, where are we currently on the Gene Dock property? I mean, I thought initially it was going to be kind of a easy lift, pretty much turnkey facility, but I think that the elevator is the sticking point, and how far away are we from actually seeing that building being used?
Major Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, if it's okay, I could probably have an informational in the next 2 weeks to find out exactly what the lead time is on the elevator, and just have it written up. But overall, the Jean d'Arc School it's a phenomenal buy, in my opinion, still to this day. We will be putting money into it, but there is no way we would have been able to build a school of that size for the amount of money we purchased for it. So if it's okay with the council, I'll just take it from an informational standpoint and bring forward in the next, say, 2 weeks an idea as to where we're at and what the lead time is on. One of the major sticking points is the elevator.
And in the meantime, based on this motion, though, I'm hopeful that, again, if we're going to have leases expiring coming up, I hope we get some kind of general ideas of at least available options before we're required to look at re-signing a lease or anything with existing space. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to, clarify a few things. As far as leases that come up under the school department, would that save the city money, or does that go back into the school budget? It's coming from the school budget right now, correct?
Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Yes, Councilor. Yes, Councilor. That would be a savings in the school department. But once again, there is this sometimes this thing out there that the city and the schools aren't working together to try to get this done. Yeah. If we were able to bring leases together, somehow assist, that would help the school department's bottom line directly. You are correct.
Yeah, absolutely, and more money for them to use within
That's
their
correct.
budget for other needs, obviously.
Yes.
But I guess my only question would be around, how this goes forward to the school committee, or like would the mayor bring a motion forward asking them to come up with enrollment numbers and space requirements? That's something that used to happen pretty frequently, where they would get this kind of documentation and give it to the city for what their needs were. So I don't know if that's something we could make as a motion for the mayor to bring to the school committee, to ask them to come up with enrollment and space requirements for the city.
Sure.
Thank you. I'd make it in form of a motion, I guess.
Motion by Councilor Scott to have the mayor go to the school committee and ask for enrollment requirements. Seconded by Councilor Chow. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Yeah, just one more comment. Just, it's
Any
my
opposed?
understanding
So
that the Jean d'Arc school is already actually basically full, that there is a higher population already than they expected to go into that school. So I think it would be really good for us to get some grip on where they are and what their needs are going to be in the future. So, thank you.
Councilor Descoteaux.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate Councilor Robinson's motion. Unfortunately, I'm not very optimistic for the fact that, and Councilor Scott just brought it up, is that we purchased the Jean d'Arc building 3 years ago with the hope that we would take in students from other cities and towns at, between $60,000 and $80,000 in tuition and bring it into the school system. But at this point, they're already saying that we're full, and we're going to be full when they open up full in 2027. Now, I was at the Highland Neighborhood meeting on Monday night, and I did pose a question to Superintendent Skinner, what his thoughts were about, once Lowell High is completed, what will happen to the freshman academy. And that's about 45 rooms in there, if I'm not mistaken. The ideas went from early childhood center to, it could be a autistic center. So it's quite a few things to talk about it with that. But I agree with Councilor Robinson, to get out of these leases, for downtown, which is what, $400,000, $500,000 a year. We're looking at the Chelmsford 80 school, which is about $300,000. So to get out of those leases would be something that we could look at it, because if I'm not mistaken, it used to be the Pine Arts and the demo school back, and it was two different schools. I believe one was 12 rooms and the other half was like 32 rooms, I believe, somewhere around that vicinity. But I'm looking forward to see what you and Mr. Skinner come up with for a plan.
Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Councilors, I just want to once again reiterate, this is a very preliminary discussion with the superintendent we've been talking about. Everything, Councilor Descoteaux, that you're talking about has been on the table. What can happen? The 3- and 4-year-olds, I would know this because talking with the superintendent about the challenges. Which schools can be merged, which cannot be merged, what's going to happen with the old the current freshman academy, I suppose. What could happen? So there is a lot going on. So once again, in thinking forward, this has been going on, but there's just no concrete pieces right now. But I know that the superintendent has been talking back and forth. I'm pretty excited to see what we can accomplish. And I would think that it would be, hopefully, Councilor Descoteaux, to your point, you're correct. We are full, but that's also us pulling some folks, repatriating some of our students back into the city of Lowell, which would be a good thing for us overall. So there will be some type of savings there. But I'm very bullish, I think, on the conversations we have had about what could happen with the, I'm going to say 29 other buildings throughout the city that are possible in the school department.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Councilor Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, to the manager's point, I think we, and I'm sure that the man knows the number better than I do, but I think we're over $2 million in just in transportation, just for maybe 30 students that travel outside the district and far out the district as well. So to bring those students back, I think was a major reason why both sides actually agreed on something to purchase a property and then to fix it up. So that's good stuff, and that I certainly hope that this motion goes better than the joint facility subcommittee that you had a couple weeks ago, Mr. Mayor. So best of luck, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Councilor Rourke, for the confidence. He was a builder. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 5.8, Mayor Getchia requests the city manager have the proper department look into adding blinking stop signs at the four-way intersection of Westford and Foster Street and Princeton Ave and Foster Street. Seconded by Councilor Noon. Motion speaks for itself. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered.
Mr. Mayor, looking at the calendar, we got St. Patrick's next Tuesday. I'd like to make a motion to cancel next Tuesday's meeting if possible.
Second.
Third.
We didn't even finish the...
I won't vote.
We're already canceling meetings. Motion by Councilor Robinson to cancel next week's meeting, seconded by Councilor Rourke. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Goodness.
Where did that come from?
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Of course.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
What'd you say?
Yes.
Counsel, Mayor Getchia.
No.
Counsel Duran.
No,
Do you remember?
no.
Counsel Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
No.
Counsel Mercia.
Will the bat be gone by then? Yes.
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 Counsel Noon.
No.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
7 yeas.
We hope everyone enjoys their Irish Day. Whatever works for you. 7 votes, the city manager, 7.1 vote authorizing city manager to execute easements with National Grid, Douglas Road. Waive full reading and second reading by title. Vote authorizing the city manager to execute 2 easements from the City of Lowell to Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid USA, for the installation of an underground electric distribution system. Said system is located in, through, under, over, across, and upon a parcel of land situated on the easterly side of Douglas Road in said Lowell. Motion to adopt by Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Mercia. Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Councilor Duran.
Yeah, I have looked at this, I've looked at the maps. I liked the description that said over, under, in any which way. I couldn't really actually be able to tell anybody what's going to happen. So maybe somebody could tell me what's going to happen.
Assistant City Manager Machado.
I can have National Grid or our engineers get something specific for you to look at.
Okay, it would be helpful just because if anybody asks, I
Right.
could not tell them anything. Thank you. And I'm assuming we need to do this for the project to move forward. Otherwise, voting on it tonight would be a challenge.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Duran.
Yes.
Counsel
Yes.
Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
Yes.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson. Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
11 yeas.
11 yeas. 7.2, vote authorizing city manager to execute notice of activity and use limitation, 86 Fay Street and 1170 Gorham Street. Waive full reading and second reading by title. Vote authorizing the city manager to execute notice of activity and use limitations regarding property at 86 Fay Street, former Costa's dump site, and 1170 Gorham Street, Lowell. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Motion to adopt.
By Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Mercia. Roll call.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Duran.
Yes.
Counsel Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
Yes.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson. Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. 8, Constable Bond. Communications, City Manager requests approval of Juan Jerez and removal of Emma Amaro. Motion to adopt by Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Rourke. Roll call.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia. Counsel Duran.
Yes.
Counsel Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
Yes.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
11.
Thank you. Reports, 10.1, Municipal Facilities Subcommittee joint with School Facilities Subcommittee, February 25th, 2025.
Looking forward to this, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry, Councilor.
Looking forward to this.
I am too.
Yeah.
Councilor Dakota.
I'm not. Yes, the Municipal Facilities School Committee Joint Subcommittee joint with school facilities met on February 25th. Present were myself, Councilor Robinson, Councilor Scott from the school committee, Mr. Bahu and Mr. Rossi, and Ms. Martin was absent. Also present in council chambers were Rita Mercia, Eric Gitchia, Mayor Golden, Austin Ball. Present from the school administration were John Leahy, James Hall, Rick Underwood, and Superintendent Liam Skinner. I commented on the amount of money the city contributes to the school system. I noted that discussion was started by Mayor Gitchia for efficiency purposes, and further noted the number of meetings to date trying to make headway. School Committee Bahu noted contributions of the city and the importance of a partnership. Council Robinson commented on how the idea grew and that it was never his intention to include privatization of work into the mix. Council Robinson noted the concerns of the school committee and indicated there must be a partnership developed to reach certain goals regarding the school buildings. School Committee Woman Del Rossi noted her backing of the city in school collaboration and that if it works is to be done, it must be done together. Superintendent Skinner commented on the partnership and the need to maintain the schools. School Committee Woman Del Rossi commented on work orders and who is doing what and that there is a lack of communication in the system. Superintendent Skinner outlined the school due program and the lack of skilled labor. Mr. Underwood noted the school due process and noted the number of instances that the school side is doing the work of the city and that the schools are unfairly criticized. I noted the need to work together and not point fingers. Mayor Gitchia commented as a resident of the city and noted the language should be inclusive, not divisive, and portrayed earlier. Mayor Gitchia noted the lack of operations in the schools and at a minimum the buildings must be cleaned. I noted the lack of skilled labor in the workforce, which causes much of these issues, and that there should be professionals in the building with apprentice programs. Councilor Scott noted the blame game must end, and that there should be tight structured department developed. School Committee Woman Del Rossi noted the need to have a managed department with professional laborers. Councilor Robinson noted the need to meet and develop a department with input from all partners to ensure efficiency and professionalism. Manager Golden noted the continued conversations with the schools, which brings ideas together to bring proper structure. Meeting was open to the public. Pam Argenti noted the need to follow protocol. John Leahy noted prior experiences and that the fix would not be difficult and that there is a need for a second shift. Paul Georges noted that privatization must be completely eliminated. And Sophia Marsden noted the need to support positions. Motion by Councilor Robinson, seconded by School Committee Woman Del Rossi to remove privatization element from any discussion regarding developing a centralized facilities department. Adopted per roll call, 5 yeas. So voted. Mr. Underwood did not agree with the removal of privatization. I noted the need to develop structure for change. School Committee Man Bahu commented on the need to collaborate. Mayor Gitchia noted Plan E form of government and the restraints on elected officials under that plan. Councilor Scott noted the vote that made note of intention, not direction. That pretty much summed that up. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the city manager, have we had any correspondence with 1705 at this point?
Manager Golden?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the council. Yes, we've talked, but there's still a lot more discussions to go. We've also, I'm waiting on some response from the teachers union as well in regards to what possibly could be happening with the custodians. So it's still a work in progress.
We should be hearing something soon to have some discussions, deeper discussions with 1705, I hope.
Sir.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the council. Yes, but I'm going to have to have something to present them from the custodial union to see what they're willing to do.
Understood.
But the president did know. We had spoke about it, but she said, well, as soon as we have something in writing, we'll have that discussion.
Just afraid of some lapses. I just don't want this to go off the table because I want to set up another subcommittee.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Descoteaux. Councilor McRobinson.
Thank you. Through you to the city manager, maybe to the city solicitor. Is there a mechanism that would allow the council to at least bring everyone to the table for a conversation? Same room. Representatives from teachers union, AFSCME, obviously administration, school side, as well as the council for a conversation. It's not a negotiation, but just to try to flush out what does this look like from all parties. And then at least that way, when you get into the negotiation pieces, at least you'll have, I think, clearer ideas of what you need to try to get from whatever groups you're discussing with.
Manager Golden?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Chair Descoteaux, myself, Mayor was actually there as well. We've had some of those discussions. We've had actually one discussion on that already. I've talked to the superintendent about this previously. So that is happening. It's just not, I don't think it's happening as quickly as we would like. So I'll reach over to the teachers union, Mr. Georges, to find out where they are with their thoughts. Because once again, the conversation that was had, I don't want to leave anybody out. Mr. Mayor, it was the mayor, Chair Descoteaux, Chair Bahu, and a lot of city and school staff. But I think the 3 elected officials that were there, I just stated. So that discussion has been happening, and I anticipate that we can continue to move forward. But I'll try to ask the teachers union where we're at with their I guess their idea or thought or proposal. That then I can bring it to 1705, if that's okay.
Thank you, Manager Golden.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to accept the report as a report of progress by Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Liang. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 11 petitions. 11.1 claims 2 property damage. Motion referred to the Law Department for a report and recommendation by Councilor Noon, seconded by Councilor Rourke. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 11.2 miscellaneous. James McCarthy requests installation of a handicap parking sign at 32 Willie Street. Motion referred to the transportation engineer for report and recommendation by Councilor Liang, seconded by Councilor Noon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. Councilor Mercia.
Are we up to 11.4?
I'm at 11.3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. 11.3 miscellaneous. Samuel Dooley request installation of a handicap parking sign at 154 Coburn Street. Motion referred to the transportation engineer for report and recommendation by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Noon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 11.4, Councilor Mercia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to bundle 11.4 to 11.A. Anybody want to?
Motion by Councilor Mercia to bundle 11.4 to 11.8, seconded by Councilor Noon. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? 11.4, National Grid request installation of 1 JO pole located at 114 to 120 Agawam Street. 11.5, National Grid request installation of 1 JO pole located at 217 Wilder Street. 11.6, National Grid requests installation of 1 JO pole located at 275 Varnum Ave. 11.7, National Grid requests installation of 1 JO pole located at 7 to 19 Nesmith Street. 11.8, Boston Gas requests replacement of existing gas main on Seals Street. Give first reading and motion to refer 11.4 to 11.8, refer to public hearing on March 24, 2026 at 7 p.m. by Councilor McDonough, seconded by Councilor Chow. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 12 announcements. Councilor Mercia.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On this Saturday, on, let's see, what date is that? Oh, March 14th, this Saturday at 9 o'clock at Lindsay's, State Representative Rodney Elliott and the Bridge Club of Greater Lowell will have their St. Patrick's Day breakfast. It should be a great time. Tickets are $50. I'm sure you could buy them at the door. And we're going to be honoring Jay Linehan. Thank you.
Manager Golden. Assistant City Manager Machado.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tomorrow, Mass Hire Career Center is offering a job fair at Middlesex Community College from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, it's at Middlesex Community College. The Thursday, tomorrow's job fair is social services, healthcare, law enforcement, finance, and education. Thursday, there's another job fair, and that'll be trades, warehouse workers, transportation, and food service. So a two-day event, Middlesex Community College from 11 to 1.
Council McDonough, then Manager Golden.
I just wanted to quickly announce the thanks to the manager and his team, especially Assistant Manager Machado, from just about everybody who lives in the vicinity of a certain street downtown. There's been an ongoing issue with dumpsters for about, 5 weeks. I've never gotten so many positive phone calls and emails, I think, in my life, not just here, and people mostly complain here. But so thank you very much. I wanted to make sure that you, the manager, and everybody else involved got that thanks in a public setting. So thank you again.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Last call. March 12th, Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m. I want to remind everybody that the budget hearing is going to be happening in the mayor's reception room. It's on debt and capital. I promise you I will be there, but Austin Ball and Connor Baldwin will be excited to talk to you about debt and capital. So we've gotten a very good response on this, and we probably have 4 more scheduled thus far, not including any of the...
This one and then 2 more.
2 more. Yep. And then not including some of the neighborhood groups. So if you're interested, please let us know. Once again, March 12th, 6 p.m., budget hearing on debt and capital. Thank you all very much in the mayor's reception room.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Councilor Duran. All set? Motion to adjourn by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Rourke. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered.
All right.
Go to Cambodia, watch them ball.
Have a good day.